as Aggressive will be the first one to go down. It's a double kill for Negi, who's still giving chase. The stun stops the Darkseer in his tracks, and Darkseer burns down to the Radiance, while Negi, once an Ultra, chooses not to go into the fountain, instead comes back. Slow and painful takedown. The hook is gonna miss. The Aegis is snatched by Negi. He does have the Eclipse. He has the Aegis to work with. He's gonna wait for life number 1 to go down. The lone druid gets swapped out of safety. Doesn't quite die just yet. The hook with his member on the backside, keeping the Queen of Pain at bay, who blinks back out. Negi with the Eclipse. The Echo Slam from Gorenko. They've got the kills. They've got the double kill coming out. They've got the Fisher holding Arrow. And Arrow goes down next. Oh man, KKL comes into the frame, but the barracks are dropping. The hook is there. It'll pull back Flare further behind. It's mega creeps in favor of KKL. And this time it looks like it could really be over, but I've said that too soon. Again, it's 4 down on the side of KKL with Draw Ranger being controlled. The shrines are popped again. It's a 5-man wipe. Gotten a fair bit of damage done. Even Pudge just walks forward and TFOs are dropping like flies here. No BKB, well, they have a BKB on Negi, but what can he really do here? There's the GG coming out. Fred fires the hook, finds nobody. There's the jump in though, they've got the 7 walls dropped down, the global silence is there, so no Guardian Angel comes through the back, the wall is there and it's beautiful. They're brought down to, there's the buyback from the punch, but the Guardian Angel has been dropped and they've gone in behind onto the Lina. She pops the cheese and continues to fight. The corrosive Aegis has been dropped, meanwhile on the front line, the Aegis has been expended. Deep breaths, they're just circling around that Ursa who's gonna respawn, gets Hex, but the crush comes out onto 3. There's the zip, Negi's in trouble, he turns around and tries to fight, but Arrow with a double kill. Side slowly and surely they're gonna chip away on this. A hook from downtown finds Lina, but they do enter the fray with the shrines pop to back the wall as well. They've brought down Perseverance. They're going for the next one. Deep breath stays alive with the Guardian Angel pop. Lina taking a beating, getting zipped upon, getting jumped upon, gets surged on out, but ends up surviving with the Glimmer Cape as well. Oh man, that was a defense from the depths of hell coming out to keep that Lina alive, as now they go in and finish the job onto the TB as Ursa gets so closer to his deep breaths. Has that Enrage now available. Triple kill for Negi, who's gonna pop the Enrage, turns around, gets control of the electric vortex, goes walking in. Hasn't got the greens available just yet. Looks like Negi will finally end up going down, turns around again, starts farming away the life secrets, and it's an ultra kill for him. Either the dash connects, the GG gets called.
First frag, trying to go around the corner, get the second frag as well. What is going on, Falcon? No! But Ace is going to go ahead and get the third frag as well, and this is going to the flash. But well, look at the Ace getting the fourth kill.
The big jump, let's call it now.
The big jump. I think he'll be able to pull off right now, but Ace on the triple kill. What? It's going to miss out on the shot. That is something that really happens. He misses out on the follow-up shot as well. Ace with a triple kill.
Again, he misses the shot, and
Ace going down, is going to get taken down though. It's Scaling as well, the follow-up shot being connected. Hunter being taken down. Is he going to be able to close it down? It's going to go on the corner. AK, oh my god, look at that!
Wow, they're going to go through the smoke.
But look at that, AK getting the first round, trying to get the second one as well. He's going to get it. AK with the quad. What the season right going around the corner. Look at that, that is huge, but Hunter completely insane. The map awareness, the situation awareness is on point. Get the second frag as well. Hunter with the triple kill. This guy is a goal.
Didn't even get to cross.
has the Ravage. The hook shot is there from Butter. They've got them in the cogs. The Ravage dropped on top. But here comes the Monkey King with the Wukong. Come on, the vacuum ball. Ice Path, Macro Fire. It's a song of ice and fire. And look at them burn. Team Cancer being bought down bit by bit. They've lost the Tidehunter. They've lost the Warlock. And they're losing a whole lot more with this Sonic Wave. Easy trying to man fight. Buriza did use the Sonic Wave. They lost 4 heroes.
You should not have crossed me.
He gets the Ravage. It's on to 5. Swen with the Storm Hammer on to 2. He's caught in the cogs, but it doesn't matter. He brings down the Rikimaru as well as the Monkey King. Monkey King with the Ace is about to respawn quickly. Pops the Wukong's command, turns around, brings down the Clockwork. Elsewhere, Tidehunter. They've lost the Clockwork, they've lost the Warlock. Elsewhere, there is one doing a little bit of space. Zap on the Duck. He's actually let that in Monkey. Okay, here comes Queen of Pain. Another Purge. Queen of Pain as well, and they're going to get the kill. They want the Shaman, they might get the Shaman. The Wukong's command is out. They've got the Shaman though, but can they look for more? Monkey King jumps off the trees, and with the Illuminate and with those monkeys, should eventually get the kill in the axe. Indeed he will. They do, however, manage to unload the Reaper side on the Monkey King, who ultimately ends up going down, giving away a lot of gold. But Zap is here, along with the Storm Spirit. They're chasing down Team Cancer. The Nectar Force is all that remains, and he won't remain for too long. But it's an ultra kill on the Bristleback. The GG comes out from Team Cancer. Team Buriza have done it in an emphatic manner. 13-4 is the score. 70 minutes in, Team Buriza steal the game.
It was only a matter of time.
All they're gonna do is clear up illusions and all of that, but Huskar goes in. Big static storm on the backlines. The Sonic Wave comes in and they get the Huskar kill after all. So it's a 1-for-2 trade thus far. Just the Darksphere down on the side of the radio. They're gonna keep chasing as the Sand King will go down next. Double kill for Rock. They're going forward. They've gotten 4. Even the Vengeance are hitting the deck, and now they're chasing forward onto the back. He's gonna try and TP out and should not be too successful because you've got the glimpse to cancel that out. It'll be a 5-man wipe in favor of Glory 5. Charge commitment, power strike right on the backlines. He's holding them in position and keeping them at bay. The Lancer not coming right into the fray just yet, while Huskar is chasing onto the Quap, who's gone in deep and ends up losing her life. I think they know it's over. It looks like they're losing hope in these fights. While they're buying back, it's not really amounting to much. There's 3 down at the side of the Radiant already, and Alcia can't really fight through all of this by himself. Huskar still being kept alive as he jumps forward, beats up on the Lancer, forces the GG out. Ricky, cheeky Ricky, he's in there looking for that snatch. Is he gonna get it here? They haven't dusted just yet. Rosh is down, the Aegis is smashed! Oh, he got it! Oh man, this is... There's the Atos, 2 Atos actually. There's the quick egg coming out of the Phoenix. The Chain Frost is doing some good work, bouncing between 2. The Necro takes the brunt of it, gets swapped in further as well, has that ghost shot, needs to get the Reaper side kill off on someone to start regenning, but he just goes down without a fight, despite having the opportunity to commit on Baby. There's Ollie now chasing forward onto the Venge. The Venge getting taken out on the side. The Dust was there for good measure as well. They get that kill, but the Axe now in trouble himself with the double kill for Sia's Viper, but Viper's been taken apart by the Ursa, who's changed targets, enraged up and gone on a Blank, who's been slowed down by both the Stomp as well as the smoke screen, but Blank turns around and gets himself a kill on the Ursa, as it will be Glory 5 that taps out. Genesis are your winners here.
Where do you think you're going?
Goddess rejoice!
Let them try and stop me. Time to shake things up and see where they settle. Aha! Victory!
All they're gonna do is clear up illusions and all of that. The Huskar goes in. Big static storm on the backlines. The Sonic Wave comes in and they get the Huskar kill after all. So it's a 1-for-2 trade thus far. Just the Doxia down on the side of the radio. They're gonna keep chasing and the Sand King will go down next. Double kill for Rock. They're going forward. They've gotten 4. Even the Vengeance are hitting the deck and now they're chasing forward onto the back. He's gonna try and TP out and should not be too successful because you've got the glimpse to cancel that out. It'll be a 5-man wipe in favor of Glory 5. Charge commitment, power strike right on the backlines. He's holding them in position and keeping them at bay. The Lancer not coming right into the fray just yet, while Huskar is chasing onto the Quap who's gone in deep and ends up losing her life. I think they know it's over. It looks like they're losing hope in these fights. While they're buying back, it's not really amounting to much. There's 3 down on the side of the gradient already, and Alcia can't really fight through all of this by himself. Huskar still being kept alive as he jumps forward, beats up on the Lancer, forces the GG out. Ricky, cheeky Ricky, he's in there looking for that snatch. Is he gonna get it here? They haven't dusted just yet. Rosh is down, the Aegis is snatched! Oh, he got it! Oh man, this is... There's the Atos, 2 Atos actually. There's the quick egg coming out of the Phoenix. The Chain Cross is doing some good work, bouncing between 2. The Necro takes the brunt of it, gets swapped in further as well, has that ghost shot, needs to get the Reaper side kill off on someone to start regenning, but he just goes down without a fight, despite having the opportunity to commit on Baby. There's Ollie now chasing forward onto the Venge. The Venge getting taken out on the side. The Dust was there for good measure as well. They get that kill, but the Axe now in trouble himself with the double kill for CS Viper, but Viper's been taken apart by the Ursa, who's changed targets, enraged up and gone on the Blank, who's been slowed down by both the Stomp as well as the Smoke Screen, but Blank turns around and gets himself a kill on the Ursa, as it will be Glory 5 that taps out. Genesis are your winners here. Just waited a tad bit too long. The Edgo got the repel, got a purification, the blood right comes in as well, and it looks like Aggressive could be the one going down here. Salve's up on the back lines, his Salve runs out, He gets brought down by Negi as Kuroko Tetsuya goes down next. Negi with the double, has a rupture if he wants to go for the triple, commits it indeed, pops his face boots and runs wide at deep threats. One punch, two punch, make it a triple Negi. But Negi, he's gone in deep. Meanwhile, the Echo Slam was there behind, all the way down in the illusions. Back into the fray here, you've got the stun coming out, they've got the kill on Kuroko Tetsuya, but the Guardian Angel keeps him alive, the Diffuser Blade purges up Negi, but remember he still has the Aegis, as Aggressive will be the first one to go down. It's a double kill for Negi, who's still giving chase. The stun stops the Darkseer in his tracks, and Darkseer burns down to the Radiance, while Negi, once an Ultra, chooses not to go into the fountain, instead comes back. Slow and painful takedown, the hook is gonna miss, the Aegis is snatched by Negi. He does have the Eclipse, he has the Aegis to work with, he's gonna wait for life number 1 to go down, the lone druid gets swapped out of safety, doesn't quite die just yet. The hook, the dismember on the backside, keeping the Queen of Pain at bay, who blitz back out. Negi with the Eclipse, the Echo Slam from Gorenko, they've got the kills, they've got the double kill coming out, they've got the Christian hold in Arrow, and Arrow goes down next. Oh man, KKL comes into the fray, but the barracks are dropping. The hook is there. It'll pull back Flair further behind. It's mega creeps in favor of KKL. And this time it looks like it could really be over, but I've said that too soon. Again, it's 4 down on the side of KKL. With Draw Ranger being controlled, the shrines are popped again. It's a 5-man wipe. Gotten a fair bit of damage done. Even Pudge just walks forward and TFOs are dropping like flies here. No BKB, well, they have a BKB on Negi, but what can he really do here? There's the GG coming out. Fred spies the hook, finds nobody. There's the jump in though, they've got the 7 wards dropped down, the global silence is there, so no Guardian Angel comes through the back, the wall is there and it's beautiful. They're brought down to, there's the buyback from the punch, but the Guardian Angel has been dropped and they've gone in behind onto the Lina. She pops the cheese and continues to fight. The corrosive Aegis has been dropped, meanwhile on the front line, the Aegis has been expended, deep pets, they're just circling around that Ursa who's gonna respawn, gets Hex, but the crush comes out onto 3, there's the zip, Negi's in trouble, he turns around and tries to fight, but Arrow with a double kill. Side slowly and surely they're gonna chip away on this. A hook from downtown finds the Lina, but they do enter the fray with the shrines pop the back the wall as well. They've brought down Perseverance. They're going for the next one. Deep Breath stays alive with the Guardian Angel pop. Lina taking a beating, getting zipped upon, getting jumped upon, gets surged on out, but ends up surviving with the Glimmer Cape as well. Oh man, that was a defense from the depths of hell coming out to keep that Lina alive, as now they go in and finish the job onto the TB as Ursa gets hooked closer to his Deep Breath. Has that Enrage now available, triple kill for Negi, who's gonna pop the Enrage, turns around, gets control of the electric vortex, goes walking in, hasn't got the greens available just yet, looks like Negi will finally end up going down, turns around again, starts farming away, the life secrets, and it's an ultra kill for him. 5 of the dash connects, the GG gets called.
First frag, try to go around the corner, get the second frag as well. What is going on, Falcon? No! But Ace is going to go in and get the third frag as well, and this is going to flash. But well, look at the Ace getting the fourth kill.
The big jump, let's call it now.
The big jump. I think he'll be able to pull off right now, but Ace with a triple kill. What? He's going to miss out on the shot. That is something that really happens. He misses out on the follow-up shot as well. Ace with a triple kill.
Again, he misses the shot and
Ace going down, is going to get taken down though. It's Gallagher as well, the follow-up shot being connected. Hunter being taken down. Is he going to be able to close it down? He's going to go on the corner. AK, oh my god, look at that!
Wow, they're going to go through the smoke.
But look at that, AK getting the first round, trying to get the second one as well. He's going to get it. AK with the what the season right going around the corner. Look at that, that is huge, but Hunter completely insane. The map awareness, the situation awareness is on point. Getting the second frag as well. Hunter with the triple kill. This guy is a goal.
Didn't even get to cross.
looking for more, gets another one. Rattling on shot through the smoke. He's just not stopping here. He's going to get another one. Fly with the quad kill. Completely blinded, yet he finds the kill. Is getting put alive here. Charges around. Gets another one. Mana going absolutely huge. Wave it on a shot. Oh, man! What was that? Absolutely nasty talk.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dew Arena by Mountain Dew, India's largest gaming championship. And the reason why I call it the largest gaming championship in the country is because of the fact that we had about 440,000 registrations across all the platforms. That's about 500,000 registrations across, the mobile devices, internet, and the offline events as well. But in the meantime, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Ranjit Mamba Senior Patel, and I'm going to be your host for the entire duration. I'm going to be taking you through the 12 matches happening today and the final event the day after tomorrow as well. And alongside me, I have two wonderful gentlemen, Nishant Cloudex Patel and Jeet Swifty Kundra. Welcome to the show, guys.
Nice to be alongside a fellow Patel once again, Ranjit. I got to say, I'm really looking forward to this day.
And talking more about Dew Arena right now, the reason why it's so hyped up and the reason why it's so important is the fact that by far it's obviously the largest gaming championship in the country, but this is the second edition. We actually had the first edition going live in the last year, 2016, and Nishant actually mentioned that it was one of the finest events and one of the events that actually set the benchmark as well for that year. But this one has been going on for 6 months. It has been a 6-month-long grueling journey with the qualifiers as well, and it's been full of action. And we had multiple games going on, but one of the most important points that I want to mention is the fact that the prize pool is 20 lakhs, and leaving the prize pool aside as well, the winners actually get a chance to appear on the bottle, be the face of the drink as well. So talking about the games and talking about the teams right now, if we could have a look at the schedule right now, we have 12 matches lined up. The first up is Dota 2, second is Counter-Strike, and we keep on going on in the same order. We have Counter-Strike, Dota 2, Counter-Strike, Dota 2. The first match for Dota 2 is going to be between Team Aggressive 5 and team, it's actually Aggressive 5 and Optic Myst Gaming. I sort of missed out on the detail, but talk about these two teams. Before we actually end up talking about them, let's have a look at team number 1 question, Team Aggressive 5.
Aggressive 5 has been one of the most dominant teams in the Indian pro scene. They are known for their wide array of strategies, and with Pasol at the helm, they certainly have the experience to draw from in order to draft and play Dota in any imaginable style. It will take a mammoth effort to stop Aggressive 5's march to the title.
All right, so that's Team Aggressive 5 for you guys. And Swifty, I want to ask you this question. So you've been competing a lot lately, and you've actually turned an analyst from being a pro player. So, knowing Aggressive 5 so closely, what do you think about them as a unit?
Well, for Team Aggressive 5, I have to say, man, they are definitely the strongest team coming into this tournament. And for me personally, they are one of the favorites to take this championship away. They have also beaten Team Signify, which is considered to be one of the best teams in India right now. And as for their playstyle, I would say they love their green heroes, man. Their draft, they are really shameless in their draft. They always pick these green heroes.
I mean, you got to be shameless to win it, right?
Correct. In the meantime, we actually have the second team lineup as well. That is Optic Myst Gaming. Let's have a look at them as well.
For the most part, underdogs tend to be easy to cheer for. They allow us to be optimistic without the same sense of expectation. While Optic Myst Gaming technically did have a blistering run in the qualifiers and are incredibly skilled, they are still very much the underdogs. But they shouldn't be underestimated, for they have shown that they are capable of incredible upsets against the best of the teams.
All right, that's Optic Myst Gaming for you guys. And Cloudex, I want to ask you, we actually have the draft going live in a bit as well, so I'd quickly like you to sum up Team Optic Myst Gaming.
I wish I could. They're the team. I mean, we were actually brainstorming, trying to figure out what is Optic Myst going to bring to the table, but we have I mean, we have no idea. They're the team that's going to come in with some pocket strats here, and I think that is their biggest
Yep.
advantage.
They might be a dark horse
Perfect.
for this tournament, man. Really.
And
मैं
you know,
अभी
it's
जाके
one of the
कुर्सी
other
लेकर
things as
आऊँ।
well that when you don't really know how the other team plays, you can't really go in with a specific set of mindset or a specific strategy as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. But you know, we've been talking about the form as well for aggressive five. So Cloud, you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, Swifty kind of nailed it when he said that, you know, they've taken down some of the best in
Yep.
the country right now. They are having the run of their lives at the moment, and they are the team to beat. They've got a mix of experienced players, they've got the
Yep.
young blood,
Young blood, of course.
and they've got the green heroes, man.
Green
Talking about
heroes
the
are
green
back.
heroes, you know, one of the other points that Nishant, actually Cloud actually made, and I'd like to quote it, is the fact that they've been completely shameless with the draft. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, you've got to be shameless
Yeah.
to win.
When you
You're
have to
playing-
win, yeah.
You're playing for
Definitely.
what, 20 lakh? Of 20 lakh prize pool, I'd be shameless if I was playing. You would be shameless
Of
if you were
course, yeah.
gaming.
All right, so we actually have the draft going live, so we'll quickly head on towards the draft and have a look at how they actually, you know, get on to the draft as well.
Ah, I see a
Oh,
green
man.
hero.
It's back.
The green heroes are back, and what do you think? Do you have any? So, like, you know, we were having a discussion, and you mentioned that you know there are specific heroes that should be suggested or should be picked. You can't really ever predict what they're going to pick. So, Cloud, what do you think about the draft going on right now? What do you think should be the next pick?
So far, I think it's fairly standard.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree? It's standard, the Shadow Shaman and the Buck coming out from Optic Myst Gaming.
And the Leech ban coming out from Aggressive Fire, man.
Yeah,
Leech,
that's-
Leech is a hero which is most picked and most banned in this tournament. And it's really in the meta, you know. So
it's more
yeah.
something that's favored by Indian teams as well.
Yeah.
I wish I knew why. There's just, you know, certain patterns that emerge every now and then. But what's fairly consistent is Aggressive 5 picking up the Night Stalker first.
Yeah.
I mean, you as a middle laner have felt the pain of a Night Stalker coming in time
That
and
that
again.
hero, man, is really a pain for the mid laners. The first early night coming into the 4 minutes, mid laner has a lot of pressure on him. And the Night Stalker has to make movements such as, like, he has to rotate mid, he has to snipe, he can snipe the courier at level 1. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's really a mess to play against the Night Stalker.
I mean, there's a lot of new folks watching Dota as well on this broadcast, I believe. So, you know, the way a Dota game works when there's a Night Stalker is it's kind of like a song. You have its ups and its downs every 4 minutes. So the nighttime turns to day in 4 minutes, the daytime turns to night in the next 4 minutes. And Night Stalker, his name pretty much gives it away. He's strongest at the nighttime. Which is why, you know,
Yeah.
a player who's on the middle lane, in this case, is most likely going to be the Viper. He's going to have an amazing time with the Night Stalker coming in time and again. I assume it's going to be paddling on the Viper. That is
Yeah,
his
of
go-to
course.
hero.
The Viper is one of his signature heroes, I would say. Paddling, he has been playing Viper for almost most of the matches right now. So yeah, green heroes is their ability.
We actually have the players, you know, getting readied up as well. But in the meantime, Nishant, I want to ask you, if you were to sum up the drafting process in the simplest of words for all of our newer viewers, you know, just you know, being the picks and the bans, can you please explain it?
It's basically like laying out your battlefield. So it's kind of like, think of a game of chess. Instead of actually having a fixed number of pieces that go into battle every single time, you now have to pick between your queen, your pawns, your king, your rook. You can only pick a certain number of them. I mean, that is the simplest way of boiling it down. Dota is a very complex game because unlike chess, you have over 100 variations that you could pick, 100 heroes that you could pick, and in multiple permutations and combinations. So, and combinations, I'm sorry.
And on
So-
top of it, every hero has its own counter as well, you know, on the opposite side. So the picks in the bans actually play a very important role as well.
Yep.
So if you go on banning the wrong hero, we've been talking about the Night Stalker being banned out so many times and being picked out as well. So
Yeah.
what do you have to say about Night Stalker?
Well, for Night Stalker, as I said, that the main objective for Night Stalker is he has to create a lot of early pressure into the first night coming in at 4 minutes. So yeah, his early rotations matter a lot.
And the Cloud, talking about Lich as well, that was like the first ban coming in. So why do you think it's being banned so many times?
Again, it's something that's a pattern that's emerged in the Indian space. Lich is something that's worked wonders versus the Night Stalker as well. Denying EXP kind of slows down the enemy mid's growth, which means that the Night Stalker's rotation could be less impactful in the first 4 minutes. But what I like here is Optic Myst Gaming, man. They're not hesitating at all. They've picked up the Ursa as an immediate response to that
To an
Viper.
Omni Knight,
But is
yeah.
it really the best choice versus the Omni Knight?
Yeah, I think it is a really good choice against the Omni because Ursa can lane alone against an Omni Knight. He can just add on that Fury Swipes, his third skills. He
Yeah.
can he can basically just zone him out without any help of the support. So yeah, I
There's,
think
there's
it's a good
also
pick.
the synergy between the Ursa and the Puck, right? You get the
Yeah.
Dream Coil to control heroes. Ursa is a hero that, I mean, the
He
best.
needs control, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The best way to beat an Ursa is you kite around him either by
Yeah.
stunning him or by running away from him.
Or by running.
And with the Puck, you can't run away.
Yep.
And how do you break down a stun to a newer viewer?
A stun is the equivalent of getting hit in the face by a stray cricket ball. You can't move anymore. You don't know what's going on around you. You just stop.
Yeah, that's pretty much, the word gives it away, but we have one
Yep.
more pick coming up. And looking at that, they're actually using the reserve time as well. So why do you think they are taking so much time right now?
It's a best of one, lots of pressure on both teams. And Optic Myst Gaming, they're playing against possibly the best team
The
in the
best
country
team,
right
yeah.
now.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
lots of pressure on them here. I mean, they've got to perform. If
They
they,
ha-
pull,
they
a,
have
if
to
they
prove
pull a
themselves,
rabbit out
yeah.
of the hat here, the whole Indian Dota scenario is just going to be
Yep.
shocked at what just happened.
And a lot of eyebrows would have been raised when you said the best team in the country, because a lot of newer players actually look up to Signify because that's a completely different brand. But I want to mention the fact that Aggressive 5 have actually beaten Signify twice, once on LAN, once online, and
Yeah.
that's actually pretty amazing when you think of it, because Signify, all the players. No, I'm not saying Aggressive 5 is not that skilled, but when you talk about Signify, that's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, that is an international roster. You've got some very stellar players in that lineup as well. It's been a very impressive run from Aggressive 5 to actually give Signify a run for their money, let alone take a couple of games off of them in other tournaments as well. So I think, it's working out really well for the overall Indian scene when you have international players coming down and playing tournaments like this alongside their Indian compadres and counterparts. Back to the draft, I think you've got Rubik, which has been picked up by Aggressive 5. This seems like more of a deny pick rather than an actual pickup for themselves, because I know that the Rubik does work really well versus the Omni Knight.
Versus the Omni Knight,
everything
yeah.
that he steals from the Omni Knight is high value.
Yep.
And,
And-
when you talk
Oh,
about
man.
Aggressive 5, Nishant is pretty surprised.
There's a dirty Alchemist pick on the Optic.
Here is the last pick, Alchemist.
Pocket strats,
Yep.
man.
They are prepared, I guess. Optic Myst Gaming. Alchemist is a really good hero in the mid matchup, I would say.
Yeah.
The abilities of his flash farming, man. He can just roll over the network charts.
They've also done a good job of banning out the Ancient Apparition versus the Alchemist. So
Yeah.
I just don't see what the real counter is here, because it's not like you can pick up a Slaughter anymore for Aggressive 5. They're looking for their
Nope.
one position pick. They've got all their other lanes locked down in a fairly standard laning matchup. What's the go-to here? Like, what do you pick to counter the Alchemist this late in the
I
stage?
guess Aggressive 5 would go for a Slark, maybe. Let's see what. Oh, yeah, here
Jai
it comes.
Bajrangbali. Here comes Monkey King.
Here comes
That's
the
quite a
Negi.
difference. But the draft is almost done. So looking at the final draft, what do you think? Do you have any predictions, quick predictions before we go off to the break?
I guess Optic Myst have a plan for their Alchemist last pick, so maybe they can pull off this game from Aggressive 5. So
Clara,
I
what
would
from
go
you?
with Optic Myst Gaming, yeah.
I'll probably go with Aggressive 5 just for the, draft aside because of the experience and their playstyle. But I agree with Swifty. I think Optic Myst has a really solid draft here. That last pick, Alchemist, with Tusk and etc. to protect him, it's smart.
It is very smart. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have from the draft, because of the fact that the game is about to go live. The players are ready, so are the casters. Nishant is actually going to be casting as well. But in the meantime, we are going to go on a really, really short break. Get glued to your seats, because when we come back, we'll be back with live action.
Just waited a tad bit too long. So Edgo got the repel, got a purification, the blood right comes in as well, and it looks like Aggressive could be the one going down here. Sal's up on the backlines, the Sal runs out, gets brought down by Negi, as Kuroko Tetsuya goes down next. Negi with the double, has the rupture if he wants to go for the triple, commits it indeed, pops his face boots and runs wide at deep stretch. One punch, two punch, make it a triple, Negi. But Negi, he's gone in deep. Meanwhile, the Echo Slam was there behind, all the way down in the illusion. Back into the fray here, you've got the stun coming out, they've got the kill on Kuroko Tetsuya, but the Guardian Angel keeps him alive, the diffuser blade purges of Negi, but remember he still has the Aegis, as Aggressive will be the first one to go down. It's a double kill for Negi, who's still giving chase. The stun stops the Darkseer in his tracks, and Darkseer burns down to the Radiance, while Negi, once an Ultra, chooses not to go into the fountain, instead comes back. slow and painful takedown. The hook is gonna miss. The Aegis is snatched by Negi. He does have the Eclipse. He has the Aegis to work with. He's gonna wait for life number 1 to go down. The lone druid gets swapped out of safety. Doesn't quite die just yet. The hook with his member on the backside, keeping the Queen of Pain at bay, who blinks back out. Negi with the Eclipse. The Echo Slam from Gorenko. They've got the kills. They've got the double kill coming out. They've got the fish in a hold in Arrow. And Arrow goes down next. Oh man, KKL comes into the frame, but the barracks are dropping. The hook is there. It'll pull back Flair further behind. It's mega creeps in favor of KKL. And this time it looks like it could really be over, but I've said that too soon. Again, it's 4 down on the side of KKL with Draw Ranger being controlled. The shrines are popped again. It's a 5-man wipe. Gotten a fair bit of damage done. Even Pudge just walks forward and TFOs are dropping like flies here. No BKB, well, they have a BKB on Negi, but what can he really do here? There's the GG coming out. Brett spies the hook, finds nobody. There's the jump in though, they've got the 7 wards dropped down, the global silence is there, so no Guardian Angel comes through the back, the ward is there and it's beautiful. They're brought down too. There's the buyback from the Pudge, but the Guardian Angel has been dropped and they've gone in behind onto the Lina. She pops the cheese and continues to fight. The corrosive Aegis has been dropped, meanwhile on the front line, the Aegis has been expended. Deep Pets, they're just circling around that Ursa is gonna respawn, gets hexed, but the crush comes out onto 3. There's the Zip, Negi's in trouble, he turns around and tries to fight, but Arrow with a double kill. Side slowly and surely they're gonna chip away on this. A hook from downtown finds the Lina, but they do enter the frame with the shrines pop to back the wall as well. They've brought down Perseverance. They're going for the next one. Deep Breath stays alive with the Guardian Angel pop. Lina taking a beating, getting zipped upon, getting jumped upon, gets surged on out, but ends up surviving with the Glimmer Cape as well. Oh man, that was a defense.
No, I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dew Arena 2.0. My name is Vivek. With me is CloudX, who you saw a couple of seconds ago on the analyst desk as well. And today we've got Aggressify facing off versus Optic Myst Gaming. 20 lakh rupees on the line here. 5 lakhs for whoever comes first in Dota 2. So much money that if you piled it up and you climb to the very top, you'd get altitude sickness. This is Indian esports, my friends, and we've come a long way, haven't we?
Indeed we have. I mean, last year we kind of expected this to be the all and end all of Indian esports. 2017 has just come back stronger, and I for one cannot wait for the main event here. We'll find out which 2 teams are going to make it there. The game is getting underway really shortly, and like we discussed, the draft, we do feel like, at least the panel feels like it's leaning in favor of Optic Myst Gaming, but Aggressive 5, they've been known to pull out some amazing stuff even from the disadvantages situation. So let's see what they've got up their sleeves here.
Right. I mean, Optic Myst Gaming, they would be much happier if they had second pick, so that they could technically last pick that Alchemist. Now they picked up the Alchemist, and they're going to probably be laning the Alchemist versus the Monkey King. The opening couple of minutes are going to be extremely crucial because Optic Myst Gaming are going to do everything in their power to avoid that lane. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Monkey King should do really, really well versus the Alchemist in lane. Just that early point in Jingo Mastery, that extended range, and even that bonus damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, contest for the rune early on. Both teams trying to get a sense of what's the lane starting to pan out like.
I mean, you would expect these guys to play it safe, given it's game 1, a best of 1, high stakes. But no, man, they just want to go at each other's throats. And this time, it's actually Optic Myst with the high ground. So this could work out in their favor if at all Aggressive 5 decides to walk back towards the shrine. I like what Optic Myst are doing here. They are just exploiting and abusing the fact that nobody knows what they're up for or what they're good for right now.
I mean, they're the TNC of the i6. And Aggressive 5, I mean, once upon a time an underdog themselves are now the big bad boys. Gorenko, though, he walks into them. He's holding on to skill point. Excuse me, actually. He's put it into purification, runs right into the trees. Task hanging near the rune. He's got ice shards, not the snowball. But so lifts him up, throws him right back. Are they going to commit? Pinkman with the nuke. The ice shards block out the rest of Aggressive 5. Gorenko, not enough damage to bring down the task. But here comes paddling 2 stacks, 3 stacks of Jingu Mastery. And first blood going into the pockets of Aggressive 5.
You could not ask for a better start from Aggressive 5. I mean, the bounty runes are irrelevant at this point, but they still end up going 2 for 2. And at the same time, Paddling picks up the bounty rune and gets first blood. He's going to have the level advantage by the time he's in the lane. Monkey King does amazingly versus the Alchemist. I mean, he really didn't need any more of an advantage.
Absolutely, he's already starting out with a poor man shield. That first blood only brings him closer and closer to his Orb of Venom or whatever he sees fit to be his next item. In fact, he's gone for the boots. And it's just animal abuse now in the mid lane.
There's also a lane swap, by the way. So the Ursa's come mid instead of the Alchemist. It's still a lane that favors the Monkey King, man. I mean, Fury swipes are not nearly as efficient as Jingu Mastery stacks in the early stages of the game. I think Paddling is just going to have an amazing time here, unless, of course, the Tusk can make something happen. But as I say that, it's the Tusk that's trying to keep the Alchemist alive. Alchemist is just not getting any breathing room this game whatsoever.
Hold on, I'm really not sure what lane is this Alchemist supposed to be in. Is he jungling? Because I see Puck in the safe lane. I see Nexus on the Shaman leeching the off-lane EXP right here. I'm really not sure where this Alchemist is supposed to go. I mean, he's slowly heading towards the off-lane or the hard lane, so to speak.
Yeah, but by the time he gets here, Viper's going to be level 3.
Yeah.
That's just as nasty as it gets.
There's no way a Shaman and an Alchemist are going to be killing that Viper just by themselves. I mean, Negi should be fine. Goredgo or A35 has Pasol to help him out. And come nighttime, things are just going to get worse for the Ursa in the mid lane. I want to say the Ursa is a little more self-sufficient once he hits 6. Until then, the Monkey King should be able to abuse him. I mean, this lane really sort of favors the Monkey King, but also sort of leans upon how the foes rotate.
Yeah,
to some extent.
I think it's a lot on the first 4 minutes. When the nighttime kicks in, we'll have to see if Pinkman crosses that level 2 or the level 3 threshold. For now, he's just got his first bit of EXP going in with that bounty rune pickup. But on the other side, he's also got a dire observer ward placed down inside the lane. That's giving him a fair bit of vision over this middle lane if Ursa's got backup waiting for him, etc. For now, it's a Tusk that's going to rotate back towards the top side. It's unfortunate what's happened here for Optic Myst Gaming, but it's not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination.
Mid lane, Pinkman runs in, Pasol's got the telekinesis, they throw him back, they've got the boundless strike, and Paddling scores another kill.
Who expects a Night Stalker to come ganking before it's the first night time, man? This is aggressive 5 throwing curveballs left and right.
And already Optic Myst Gaming, I mean, they've starting to play reactionary Dota. They're not looking for any openings of their own, and I don't blame them. I mean, in theory, the easiest lane for them to try and find a kill off is the mid lane, but they have to keep the Alchemist alive. They're going to expend a lot of resources doing that, so they're running an aggressive track with the Alchemist, a sort of aggressive dual lane. Not really sure what that is.
Yeah, but the easy bit here for aggressive 5 is they can just simply run a tri lane of their own. And a Viper in a tri lane with a Night Stalker and a Rubik, I don't think the Alchemist is going to have a fun time farming here at all.
Mid lane though, Paddling dropping low, does have the boundless strike, and that's going to heal him up. He turns around and gets the kill. Ursa completely misreading this lane altogether and how much damage his hero can soak up.
Goredgo also got a kill on the bottom lane on that Puck. I'm really not certain how that happens, but I'm guessing that Pasol on the Rubik had a part to play in it. 4-0, barely 3 minutes in, aggressive 5 are off to a flying start.
So every core has died once?
Yeah, I believe so. Looks like every core has
died? No.
I mean, you might as well call him dead, considering how much he had to run around in the early game.
Right. Yeah, Alchemist, he's keeping up with Pasol in terms of HP. That's just a little indication of how things are going. And yeah, Optic Myst Gaming, they're going to switch up their lanes once more. They're going to send the Puck to the mid lane. Ursa heads towards the safe lane.
Meanwhile, look at Pinkman. It's nighttime, he's level 2, and he's got a haste rune. Adding insult to injury, he's picked up boots as well. I don't see this Puck staying alive for much longer here, especially given that Pasola's rotated in as well. But honestly, I don't think Paddling even needs any support here anymore. He's level 5 versus a level 4 Puck in the lane.
He's level 6.
Oh, he's level 6. Great.
Yeah, horrendous.
Up top though. Finally, we're going to see Optic Myst Gaming get on the scoreboard, scoring a kill on the Viper. I think Viper just got a bit too greedy there. He did get shackled up, he did get hit by the ice shards as well, and of course Alchemist claiming the kill adds a lot of value to his life. But look at Rubik, he's here, Night Stalker's waiting as well, and Paddling has respawned on the Viper, he's coming in. They're playing this near perfection here. They're going to have that lift available, doing as much damage as they can before they pick him up. And they pick him up just in time for the Viper to come in for the kill. Nexus shouldn't have stuck around here to help his ally out. He should have been left for dead, because now he's going to lose his own life as well.
First night, and Pinkman already scoring 2 crucial kills here. So Alchemist, whatever he got out of that 1 kill, immediately he's been set back. by a little bit.
I think one of the bigger issues here is that Pinkman hasn't died for diving towers like this. When the Night Stalker doesn't die in the first night time, you're in a world of trouble. X-God, or rather X-God, is dead. He used an offensive illusory orb that's basically a recipe for death in the face of a Monkey King, especially a Monkey King with the early boost picked up.
Yeah, it's a little problematic for Optic Myst Gaming. I mean, every core on the side of Aggressive 5 is actually going to take at least 2 heroes to bring down. I mean, the Optic Myst Gaming got kind of lucky because, excuse me, that's Negi on the Viper. Yeah, Optic Myst got kind of lucky because Negi didn't choose to put points into Corrosive Skin.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would have really punished the Shaman and the Alchemist when they tried going for the kill. The Monkey King is a hard kill to get, and Goretko, I mean, he's having uncontested farm in the offlane.
Second on the net worth board, and he's also got second on the CS board on this offlane Omni Knight.
Yes, I mean, he's leading the Viper in terms of CS. He's leading his own safe lane. No, it's
Up
ridiculous.
top though, Pasol and Pinkman looking to make something happen. N7's going to TP out of here, which means that the Alchemist is left for dead without a TP. Oh man.
That hurts. That hurts. Anyway, UD on the Alchemist, he gets lifted, thrown back. I mean, the poison attacks are there. Nexus TP is in.
How dare you die without me?
And Nexus is going to be brought down. I mean, Choi got the folk lightning off, but really, what was the point?
And
I mean, Bad Link says,
doing his thing as well.
it's a breakfast buffet. I mean, you get a little taste of everything. A5 just scoring all across the map.
Goretko's almost killed the Ursa in the middle lane, in the bottom lane as well, by the way. He's diving a tower as an Omni Knight versus an... Oh no, not like this. He just solo killed an Ursa in a one-on-one matchup when we were talking about how the Ursa would have the advantage in that lane.
So a couple of things went wrong here for Optic Myst Gaming. I mean, a lot of things, but it's primarily how they distributed lanes and how they shuffle lanes. I've never seen lane shuffles hurt someone so much.
Yeah.
Because by the time Ursa came to the safe lane, he had already died twice.
Yeah.
So Goretko is 2 levels ahead of him, which is why the purification hurts a whole lot. And Ursa didn't have enrage to keep himself alive. They thought they could lane the Ursa versus the Monkey King. That didn't work at all. And I'm really not sure if getting first pick on, I mean, when you don't have last pick and you pick up an Alchemist as a so-called pocket strat, is that the best way to draft a pocket strat? I have seen a little bit of Optic Myst Gaming during the qualifiers, and they're actually quite diverse in their pocket strats. They do run the Arc Warden, they do play the Purge, and maybe one of those heroes could have possibly been a whole lot better in this game. The problem with the Alchemist is he has to have a decent laning phase, or at least find recovery in the mid game.
I think he needs to have a laning phase to begin with. He wasn't in a lane at all. He's just running around from lane to lane.
I
Even
agree.
when he was switching lanes, you had the 2 supports on the side of A5 pushing at him.
I agree. I mean, the Alchemist didn't get a lane. And this is where Aggressive 5 excel, right? I mean, they really punish you in the lane. There are very few Indian sides that are as proactive as I mean, always looking hungry for kills so early on in the map.
Yeah.
And I really don't know how Optic Myst Gaming come back.
I think they've got the right idea. I mean, they're trying to 5-man, hope for a Night Stalker to come rotating in during the day, getting greedy, but A5 are also showing discipline when due. The moment the support leaves the lane and the core is left to his own devices, he dies. Bottom lane, Goretko ends up losing his life. At the middle lane, they want to make something happen on Paddling, but Paddling is up and away. No quarter whatsoever. Top, oh man, Unknown Devil. He actually died in the fountain, courtesy the Viper and his poison, but the retaliation's coming. They're gonna throw down the Dream Coil. They do have the silence, but that is one tanky beast who's just manning up. He refuses to die, but yeah, look at the discipline coming out from Pinkman. He said nope, and he just ran on out of there.
Okay. I mean, they're finding something at the very least. And they should be. I mean, come on, this is where the Tusk excels. Like, cheap initiation. Just snowball. You're right on top of someone. Charge, you block someone.
Yeah.
And that should set up kills. The thing is, Optic Myst needs to be doing a whole lot more of this if they hope to come back. And they need to get some stacks going for the Alchemist.
The other issue, though, is when they do that, they leave the other 2 lanes undefended.
And those lanes just go shit.
They just lost their tower.
They lost 2 towers. Not 1, 2 towers. They lost their mid tower. Goretko on the off-lane Omni Knight has taken down a tower before the 10-minute mark. I mean, this isn't even a lineup that's meant to push. It should be the Shaman trying to take towers here. But
Yeah, I'm a little scared to open the net worth and the EXP graphs at this point. but I think we kind of get the picture of where this game is headed. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like Zod says he's having some lag issues.
I missed that.
Oh, but Redco seems to be having them as well. Uh-oh, top lane, unknown devil, adios amigo. He's down and a ward replaces his carcass.
Paddling still hanging around. Not sure they can punish him. They snowball aggressively. The coil onto 2. Do they have the damage? Paddling starts channeling the Wukong's command. Immediately cancelled. Held in place with the shackles. Pinkman, though trying his best from the outside. Paddling still not falling. No stacks from Jingu Mastery just here. Pinkman did manage to bring down the Shaman. Kamsa though, they're fighting by the Radiant Shrine and A5 could be punished from the green. But Paddling with the Boundless Strike turns it around. Scores 2 quick kills while Negi scores another 2. Aggressive 5. Securing a team wipe and only losing the Night Stalker.
That's a full team wipe, and they, yeah, like you said, they just lost the Night Stalker. He's fine losing his life there. Pinkman is okay giving up his life as long as his Monkey King survives through all of that. 2 of those kills went to Paddling, 2 of those went to the Viper. The cores have picked up a lot more money, and they do what they do best. They continue pushing and take an objective. All 3 lanes have lost towers now, and the top lane has lost all of the towers.
If I'm not mistaken, this fight took place without A35's participation. I didn't see him in that fight. Could have been there, I'm not sure. But
I think he walked in at the tail end of it.
Yeah. So that was without a repel, without a purification, all of which could have only made the fight a lot more lopsided in favor of aggressive.
And it was during the daytime.
And it was during the daytime. I mean, that was a slow Pinkman just watching from the sidelines.
Oh man. Unknown Devil. I've seen this movie before and it looks like it's gonna have the same ending once again. That's a fully stacked up Jingu Mastery, the Boundless gets him as godlike. The wards, man, look at aggressive 5. They have done their homework. They've warded every single piece of real estate that the Alchemist could be looking to farm. And they punish him every time he steps out.
Yeah, beautiful stuff coming up from aggressive as they're just moving from kill to kill, objective to objective, trying to wrap this game up as soon as possible. And yeah. And quick look at the items. We've seen Negi go for the 4-star. He's already
Paddling?
What is
What?
Paddling doing?
He
Oh my
came in
god.
with a fully stacked up Boundless Strike, smacked 2 of them and just sent them back to the fountain. This is just another solo ranked game for him.
Aggressive 5 taking down the tier 2. No contest coming up from Optic this gaming. I mean, what are they waiting for?
I mean, what can you do anymore? I mean, that Alchemist hasn't even got a single point with the unstable concoction yet. His Grieval's greed isn't even maxed out, which means if he gets time to farm, it's not even going to be efficient. You know you're in a terrible situation when the enemy Rubik has more net worth than your Alchemist.
It's not something you see too often.
I mean, even when your Alchemist is on top of the net worth boards, you're not sure if you're ahead in this game. In this case, he's just so many ranks below. And honestly, I don't even see the value of him running out like this with his teammates under cover. There's just nothing he can do. He should be farming the camps closest to his jungle right now, not looking to join fights. Because that's the way he's going to get his goals. Nexus, what? He just showed himself for a moment and Paddling smacks his him and runs at it. What was the point of that smoke? They ran out to essentially see what they're up to and they ran away.
Optic Myst clearly out of their depth here.
Kamsa. I mean, at least he's got the right idea. He's gone somewhere where he can farm without being worried. Considering how A5 has taken up their own jungle, he might as well farm in theirs. But Paddling, while Ursa is farming creeps, Paddling is farming heroes. We've hit the
14-minute mark.
3-2-2 score mark as well.
Yeah.
At just 14 minutes in.
What's kind of worrisome is it is the 14-minute mark and neither of the supports on the side of Optic Myst are even level 6. Despite there being a Tomb of Experience available, I'm really not sure what happened. I'm not sure who picked up the Tomb, possibly the buff.
Yeah, if this keeps up, this broadcast is going to go NSFW, man. But N7 on that task, I guess he's the candidate to get level 6 first. You know, let's just try and figure out what's the potential comeback mechanism here for Optic Myst. Do you think Serpent Walls on the high ground would help? Do you think a Walrus Punch would add any value here?
I think they've got to punish goals when they get out of position. But Aggressive are playing with a lot of discipline.
They've even got an Aegis on the Viper. This game has just been that chaotic that I hadn't even seen them go to the pit.
Oh, the movement to the pit happened while Optic Myst smoked up. But yeah,
Look at this, paddling. Human observer was watching everyone. There's another key mistake that's been made here, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. The fight is to be picking out. Look on the command, start things off. The boundary strike is up next. Hit the grave first. Big Min coming into the void for the kill. Yeah, the crucial mistake
Yeah,
here
what was that?
is Tusk hasn't put a single point in the sigils, which means they have no way to look at the Monkey King on free turn. The point of picking a Tusk into the Monkey King is essentially having the sigil. They pick the Tusk regardless of the Monkey King coming onto the battlefield, but you know, at some point you gotta make an adjustment and get that sigil online.
I mean, at 16 minutes, you got to make an adjustment and hit level 6 first. Then ideally, I hope he puts a point into the sigil. But yeah, this is looking harder and harder for Optic Myst Gaming. The tier 3 is falling, then not going to contest. It is 9-time, but Big Min is carrying them. This is possibly the best opportunity to look for a fight. With Wukong's command on cooldown and it being 9-time for very little time, this and this is good. I mean, that snowballs in. The seconds are there. The boundless strike immediately. Look at that. It's a Laguna blade with AoE. Battling scores a double kill. A snowball coming out from Basol onto the Alchemist. Aggressify. They're just playing with their food at this point. And they're moving on to take a lane of barracks at the very least.
At this point, it feels like their Dota UI has just changed completely. They don't have to press any buttons, they don't have to even use their keyboard. All they gotta do is simply highlight a hero, right click and delete, and he dies. Look at that, paddling again. I mean, all your base are belong to me. That is the phrase that applies to the paddling. There's a repelled Monkey King beating up on whoever he sees with just a Sanjay and Yasha. 16, 0 and 5. I think it's safe to say this one is in the bag. It's only a matter of time before Optic Myst Gaming tap out. Because I honestly cannot see them bouncing back here.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, you do that badly. You go bully the Shadow Shaman while you're in the
OpenAI has come a long way, but humans have a longer way to go. If I just absolutely styling over the opponents here. Optic Myst though, I mean, I have seen drafts of theirs which showed a lot of promise. Hopefully they could fall back on such drafts and hopefully sort out their lanes a little better.
Yeah, I mean, the mark of a good team is one that can pick itself up after such a disastrous beating. I hope they're not gone into their shell and looking at it and saying, oh man, they're completely out of place here. They've got to go back, study their game, because this is going to be a long day of Dota, where they're going to play a lot of other opponents as well. They're not out of this tournament just yet. They have a lot of opportunities to make it back. And if they learn from their mistakes, if they sort out whatever issues they've been facing in the match, you know, they might bounce back stronger in the next one.
Absolutely. I mean, they're still trying. You know, they haven't given up despite the beating. That paddling's handed out to them.
Now they're going to call it.
Yeah, now they're going to call it. They fought till the very end. They got a couple of kills with 95% of Optic Myst Gaming skills were 80, but yeah, beautiful stuff coming up from Aggressive Fire. Solid laning, a decent draft, a good reactionary pick coming out in the form of the Monkey King, most of the Alchemist. And Aggressive Fire starting off on a really good note here at the Dew Arena version 2.0.
Yeah, you know, so Aggressive 5 actually, we talked about how Optic Myst Gaming is going to be down in the dumps now, but what a way to start the day for Aggressive 5, right? They've come on board, they've cracked their knuckles, stretched their arms, sat down on their keyboard and delivered a spanking.
Absolutely.
This is a fantastic way for them to start their day. We already talked about how Aggressive 5 are the favorites to take this tournament. They've shown you exactly why they're the favorites here.
Absolutely. They played some great Dota. And Optic Myst Gaming, I hope they still have more pocket strats to work with because the other opponents only possibly get harder. Yeah. I mean, Buriza, no pushovers.
So there's two teams in this tournament, Optic Myst Gaming and White Shadows, that are the element of surprise here. We don't really know too much about them. We have a little bit of info for White Shadows, which we'll talk to you about on the analyst test later on today. But Optic Myst Gaming is something that we've now seen is not what we quite made them out to be.
Absolutely.
I hope we're not going to paint them with the same brush for the rest of their the tournament, because I'd love to see this team bounce back versus other opponents. Aggressive 5, I personally have a gut feel that Aggressive 5 is going to take this one all the way as well. The team that's going to put a stop to them, or at least give them a run for their money, is going to be Team Buriza. Buriza is another team that has been boot camping a very long time now, so we're kind of expecting a slightly polished play coming out from them as well.
Okay. Yep. And yeah, I think we got some Counter-Strike coming up.
We do have some Counter-Strike coming up, but not before we send it over to our lovely Zera Angela Gonzalez for an interview. Stay with us, folks. We'll be bouncing back shortly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Angela, and this is the Mountain Dew Arena. Right now, we're the winning captain of the first game, Aggressive 5. Pasol, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Game was not that hard for us.
Not that hard, huh? So you seem very confident about this one.
Yeah, we are here to win.
Okay. And so which is your next game that you're going to be playing for today?
We'll be playing White Shadows at 2 p.m. today.
All right. Are you nervous about that, or you're just sure that we're just going to take it?
We are pretty confident about it also.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about the Mountain Dew Arena?
This is like the best event right now.
All right.
We are really happy to play here.
Okay, and what would it be for you to see yourself on the Mountain Dew thing?
It'll be like dream come true, one of the best things in the gaming career.
Wow, so have you played the previous Mountain Dew that happened?
Yeah, we sadly lost in the, we placed third in that Mountain Dew arena.
But this time you seem like over the moon, you're ready
We are
to
confident. Let's see how it works.
Okay, so that is Pasol from A5, the winning captain. He's going to be playing his second game at 2 o'clock. Any shout-outs that you want to make?
Shout out to Meteor Media and our manager, Arrow.
All right, it's so great talking to you, man. Congratulations on your win, and I will definitely see you later. All right, so we have a lot of great and exciting things happening at the Mountain Dew Arena. I will be back very short with you guys with the next game, so I'll see you all soon.
And well, what an amazing game that was. I mean, I was sitting with Swifty, and we were watching the game. I took a very short break, by the way, like a very, very short refreshment break. I came back, and the game was done. Like, I don't know what just happened. Swifty, you want to break it down for us?
Well, as we watched the game, it was not a long game, as we can see from Optic Gaming. They had a pocket strat for them, but it didn't turn out pretty well because they were just figuring out where the Alchemist can lane, and they were just moving from one lane to another lane from 1 to 8 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, what was that? I mean, we saw Optic Myst. So first we thought it was going to be a mid-Alchemist. Vivek and I were scratching our heads. Okay, mid-Alchemist versus the Monkey King. Not such a good idea. Then he decides, okay, I'm going to go bottom. And then Aggressive 5 just does their thing, right? You have the two of them showing up in the jungle, smacking the Alchemist, sending him back to the top lane.
Yep.
That's pretty funny. And you were actually mentioning the rotations as well, which were sometimes on point from one of the teams. Do you want to talk about that as well?
Well, Aggressive had Night Stalker. So as I said, the main objective of a Night Stalker is to create early pressure in the night time from 4 minutes. But as we saw the game, he was building pressure from 2 minutes as well. So yeah, rotations were on point from Pinkman.
You know, the time, I mean, look at that. 7 minutes down, they have 7,000 goal lead. 10 minutes down, they have 10,000 goal lead. And that's pretty amazing if you look at it that. Nishant, what are your thoughts on it?
It was a slaughter fest. I just have to say it was an absolute slaughter fest. Optic Gaming were not prepared for India's current best team to come at them like this. It was polished play from Aggressive 5. We saw them planting their wards very, very professionally. Disciplined stuff. They take a tower, they drop a ward behind inside the jungle, they go find a kill. They knew that the Alchemist would need to bounce back in the mid-game, but, you know, when there's wards watching what the Alchemist is doing.
I think we should bring in a prediction hat as well because you're leading the scoreline right now, 1-0.
And they call him the professional.
Jokes apart, you know, Swifty is one of the most experienced players in the country. But in the meantime, we are going to go on a really, really short break. And when we come back, we are actually going to go in and have Counter-Strike Global Offensive coming up. The first match is going to be between Brutality and Entity Esports. So, well, we're going to go in for a really, really quick commercial break.
Waited a tad bit too long. Lorenzo got the repel, got a purification, the blood right comes in as well, and it looks like Aggressive could be the one going down here. Sal's up on the back line, the Sal runs out, gets brought down by Negi, as Kuroko Tetsuya goes down next. Negi with the double, has a rupture if he wants to go for the triple, commits it indeed, pops his face boots and runs wide at defense. 1 punch, 2 punch, make it a triple, Negi. But Negi, he's gone in deep. Meanwhile, the Echo Slam was there behind, all the way down in the delusion. Back into the fray here, you've got the stun coming out, they've got the kill on Kuroko Tetsuya, but the Guardian Angel keeps him alive, the Diffuser Blade purges up Negi, but remember he still has the Aegis, as Aggressive will be the first one to go down. It's a double kill for Negi, who's still giving chase. The stun stops the Darkseer in his tracks, and Darkseer burns down to the Radiance, while Negi, once an Ultra, chooses not to go into the fountain, instead comes back. slow and painful takedown. The hook is gonna miss. The Aegis is snatched by Negi. He does have the Eclipse. He has the Aegis to work with. He's gonna wait for life number 1 to go down. The lone druid gets swapped out of safety. Doesn't quite die just yet. The hook with dismember on the backside, keeping the Queen of Pain at bay, who blinks back out. Negi with the Eclipse, the Echo Slam from Gorenko. They've got the kills. They've got the double kill coming out. They've got the Fisher holding Arrow. And Arrow goes down next. Oh man, KKL comes into the fray, but the barracks are dropping. The hook is there. It'll pull back Flair further behind. It's Mega Creeps in favor of KKL. And this time it looks like it could really be over, but I've said that too soon. Again, it's 4 down on the side of KKL with Draw Ranger being controlled. The shrines are popped again. It's a 5-man wipe. Gotten a fair bit of damage done. Even Budge just walks forward and TFOs are dropping like flies here. No BKB, well, they have a BKB on Negi, but what can he really do here? There's the DB coming out. Brett spies the hook, finds nobody. There's the jump in though, they've got the 7 wards dropped down, the global silence is there, so no Guardian Angel comes through the back, the ward is there and it's beautiful. They're brought down to, there's the buyback from the punch, but the Guardian Angel has been dropped and they've gone in behind onto the Lina. She pops the cheese and continues to fight. The Corrosive Aegis has been dropped, meanwhile on the front line, the Aegis has been expended. Deep Breaths, they're just circling around that Ursa who's gonna respawn, gets Hex, but the crush comes out onto 3. There's the zip, Negi's in trouble, he turns around and tries to fight, but Arrow with a double kill. Side slowly and surely they're gonna chip away on this. A hook from downtown finds the Lina, but they do enter the fray with the shrines popped the back the wall as well. They've brought down Perseverance. They're going for the next one. Deep Breath stays alive with the Guardian Angel pop. Lina taking a beating, getting zipped upon, getting jumped upon, gets surged on out, but ends up surviving with the Glimmer Cape as well. Oh man, that was a defense from the depths.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Duo Arena 2.0. And with the game being changed, it's Counter-Strike this time around. The analysts have changed as well. And along with me are 2 wonderful gentlemen, Hector, Frost, Rosario from Flipside Tactics, actually the owner of Flipside Tactics, and Aditya Adisha. I don't really need to introduce these 2 guys. If you don't know these 2 guys, you should probably stop living under a rock. But talking about the matchup, Adi, we have Brutals playing against NTC. So do you have any expectations coming in?
Yeah, definitely. I think, by the way, thank you. It's great to be on the show, first of all. And yeah, I have the Brutality, and Entity has always been like a close affair. And even though right now Entity has picked up, sort of, they're the best team in India, no doubt. So, but Brutality has something against them. Every time, somehow or the other, Brutality picks up their game against Entity. So I expect sparks. I expect a close game.
And Hector, one quick question to you as well. I remember last time you were here for ESWC, and you saw a few players. For example, Sai, who's going to be subbing in for Brutality today. You said that he could probably play on some European teams as well. So you think the last moment lineup change is going to affect them?
No, I think they should be okay. I think Brutality hasn't been playing very well as of late, though. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're right, completely. Brutality is basically what we have this joke with the casters, with Blair as well and Fed. It depends what side of the bed they wake up on. That's about it. Like if they want to play.
If we're being honest, Flipside Tactics is also the same, right? Yeah. So sometimes Blade doesn't show up. Sometimes Rodetta doesn't show up. Yeah. But if we all show up, we go to majors, we do well at majors, we make legend status. If we don't, we go 0-2 as well. So. I'm excited to be here because last year I was here, and I remember seeing teams like Brutality specifically. I was with Prashant and Blair as well, and they talked to me a lot about the Indian scene. I know players like Havoc, right, from Team Nasser now. Yep. I was really impressed with a player named Amaterasu from here last year. Mm-hmm. He did really well in this tournament. So for me, I'm looking forward to seeing the growth of CSGO because, as you guys know, I obviously have a European team. Right, so I'm more focused on like CSGO in the Western world, and I don't get to see as many tournaments here in India, but I was here last year, and I want to see the growth and just how different things have evolved and how different teams are playing, because the truth is, me and a lot of other people expect India to be one of the regions that eventually has a team in the major like you guys did all the way back in 2014 with Team Wolf. At the, I believe it was Cologne, right? 2014?
Yeah, it was Cologne. Yep.
Yeah, so we're waiting, right? Like,
we're waiting.
So for me, I'm excited to be here.
One of the players actually in Wolf was Rix, who isn't playing for Brutality. That's what Mamba was mentioning. The Sai is standing in for Rix because he has some personal issues. He couldn't make it. So that's interesting as well. They don't have a major player.
I'm sorry, I'll have to take over from here because of the fact that we are going to see how it actually works out as well. Let's have a look at the team number 1 question, Team Brutality.
Brutality is one of the most popular teams in the country. Even though the last few months have been tough for them, they managed to edge out all their opponents and qualify for the LAN finals. They finished as the runners-up last year in the first season of Dew Arena. This year, however, they're going to go for the throne and will stop at nothing to reclaim their legend status.
All right, that's Team Brutality for you guys. And, well, one of the questions for you, because, you've played with Brutality. You've been one of their core members as well for a very long time. Now, I have this question. Rix was the guy who used to bring balance to the team, and the amount of sheer experience that he had. Now, with Sai coming in, he has a very different play style. He plays very explosive. He has a very fast-paced play style as well. And when you talk about his in-game leading style as well, that differs from the other guys.
Yeah, I agree. So normally, Juventa is the guy who does the in-game leading for Brutality. So if Sai is in-game leading now, which I think is a very good idea if he should, by the way. He is, in 2016, by far, Sai was the standout player. He was the best player in India. And Hector was saying as well, he was one of the players who could even play in the European scene. He was that good. If he can get back to that, he's just recovering from carpal tunnel. So if he can get back to the 2016 form, it's going to be really exciting, this game. And
one of the other things that will happen is the fact as well, since Sai has been out of the circuit for the last 3 months, Brutals might even have the element of surprise if actually Sai starts leading, because he has a very, very different play styles. What do you think about that?
Well, I first want to touch on the injury factor, right? Because if you look at what happened to Olaf and what happened to Flusha and what's happened to a lot of players like Guardian in particular that have these injuries, it's very difficult for them to come back like they were. So normally I would say if your best player is in-game leading, that's normally going to present a problem. We've seen it with Seized and Na'Vi, right? Like we see it in Europe all the time. I'm a little bit afraid of that. But since he's coming back from an injury, it might be good for him because we don't know what the lingering effects of the injury will be. And I think that's a storyline in general that for this next year as well, beyond this tournament, is something that everyone's going to have to monitor, is because health and personal fitness does play a part in esports, and it's very important, and you can see it affect one of the best teams in India, as you mentioned, this tournament.
Well, and Adi, one quick word before we move on to Entity. What do you think, how do these two teams fare out because of the fact that, Entity, again, they've had a very similar lineup since the past 4 months since Hunter actually came in?
Yeah, it's actually very surprising. Brutality used to be one of the most stable lineups, by the way. They never had changes. They used to try to stick to their 5. And now Entity has actually, I think Entity has been the same. Brutality has had the change with Wazim Pexter. And since before that, Entity has been stable. And they've been getting better. I really think Entity is the best team in India. And the thing is that they have been stable. And they've been improving, but the only issue I have with Entity is it's too slow. Their improvement, like a 5 or 10 or 15% improvement a year, especially if you're salaried, if you have a boot camp, you have a gaming house, you need to be even better. You need to improve to, you should be beating Nasser by now. And I think they're fortunate that Nasser isn't at this tournament right now.
All right, we're going to hold on to that thought for now because we have the second team in question, Entity Gaming. Let's have a look at them.
Entity Gaming is the powerhouse of the Indian esports scene. This star-studded team has been on the top of the leaderboards and refuses to come down. Entity has outperformed all Indian teams and are second only to the Middle Eastern warlords, Nasr Esports. The players are in top form and are coming into the tournament as the favorites to win.
And that's Entity Gaming for you guys, and that's a pretty sick intro as well. I mean, look at all of these guys, all pumped up. And talking about the experience sector, Ace has been around for a very, very long time. He's pretty much the oldest player in the circuit right now. So do you think that's going to make a difference? Because, I mean, Sai is an experienced player, and this is one of those rare times where Brutality is playing without their core 3, one of those very rare times which doesn't usually happen. And knowing that they have a sub coming in, even though Sai has played with them before, but that was like 2 years back, and the amount of sheer experience that Entity has right now, how do you think that is going to play out?
Well, I can tell you personally that experience helps in Counter-Strike because, like, I'll give you a personal example with Blade, right? So, like, a lot of people say his fragging ability isn't very high. Well, my counterpoint to that is, but he's never nervous, you know, on land, whether you're playing at majors. So I imagine a tournament of this size and the scope for India will be very, or he'll be very nonchalant because he's seen it all. He's been around forever, right? He's a very experienced player. And I think for Entity at least, they don't have a sub and they have experience or an experienced player like that on their side. So I personally think that this favors them immensely. Now, whether or not it comes to fruition, that's right. You still have to play the game, right? Like, we can talk about all the experience and stuff, but for me, we have a player like that. So
Right. Well, it makes sense, but in the meantime, we actually have the veto going live as well in a bit, so we'll have a look at the veto really quickly. And Adi, looking at the veto, what do you think about it? Because we've had Nuke, the instant ban. That's surprising because Cobblestone used to be that instant ban coming in.
Yeah, the bans are actually Entity ban first, by the way, not Brutality. So at the end, by the way, the pick was for Brutality. They had between Inferno and I think Cobble to pick for, and they went for Cobble, which is very surprising because Brutality's permaban used to be Cobble. I'm assuming that's a little bit of Psy factor there because Psy really likes Cobble right from the Invisible Wings days, and then even in Entity. Entity has been really good at Cobble as well. So it's a very interesting pick. Maybe Psy has a counter strat.
And let's not forget that Invisible Wings was a team from Kolkata, and the teams from Kolkata usually play Cobblestone a lot. So, you know, having played with Invisible Wings, I think that is going to be one of the factors that might just as well play in. So, you know, looking at the final veto, do you have any final words for the matchup?
Yeah, this is a terrible veto for Brutality. Like, to be honest, if Cobble is their perma ban, obviously the other players, Sai might be comfortable on it, but I know for a fact that Venom and Kundia are not comfortable at all on Cobble. There was a little fight always back in the day when I used to play. Who's gonna play drop? So I have the same question for them now. Who's gonna play drop?
Because I'm pretty sure, you know, you ideally would want to have Sai on the op. I know was ops as well, but, you know, ideally you would want to have Sai on the op on Cobblestone.
I'm saying of drop. Drop zone.
I know, on the drop zone as well. But the thing is, you know, he usually wants to play drop zone. I've been noticing that he plays drop zone, and sometimes he plays the triangle area with the op as well, watching B long and taking care of the drop zone as well.
I think he's forced to play drop zone. I don't think he wants to play it. I don't think any player wants to play drop, to be honest, and that's the only issue I have. I think if Entity starts T-side, I think they're going to run over Brutality with their drop zone control, because Entity really, even in the first round, Entities, they just like to split A or split B from drop. It's their go-to strat, and if they can't stop drop.
All right, well, we're going to see what is going to happen. In the meantime, my wonderful boys at the casting desk are ready. It's going to be Blair and Fett. Boys, take it away.
This is going to be an interesting game, aren't you?
It is indeed. And Cobblestone, it's very curious because, well, look at the teams that we have right now, the players actually. Entity with Ace, A-Star, Excali, Hunter and Ribby, they're so explosive and such powerful aim stars they have on their team. Like, and Cobblestone is a map that favors the aim stars, the raw firepower. And 4 of these players are in the top 10 next leaderboards.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's their like huge pug stars. And like Adi mentioned this as well. I mean, these guys, Mamba, Adi, they've been watching these games for quite a while, watching these two teams play for quite a while. And you've been casting Entity and Brutality for quite a while as well. So Cobblestone being picked was a big surprise indeed for everyone involved. It is a map where Entity can strong arm their way through, and it is going to be a fast play coming in towards B. Sai playing against his older team with a one tap in the face, finds A-Star. He's still all by his lonesome. He needs to back up real quickly. We're just coming around, but it's a long flank. The bomb is going to get planted in the smoke, but Sai, he's being very smart, sneaking around the smoke, using it to his advantage. He's floating around the side. There's a flank is going to be coming in. It's going to be Juventa, going to make contact here. It's going to be Hunter with a great angle. He finds the first kill, gets another one. The clock going to work. It's still a 3v2, but it's going to be Pexer and Sai getting 2 quick kills back-to-back, leaving Excali, the Pug God, all alone in a 1v3. He's got a Glock, but they know exactly where he is, but the bomb is taking away. They don't have a kit to work with. Excali finds one more, but Pexer is there to drop him, and Sai will get a comfortable defuse. Sai played that round perfectly there. Staying alive till the very end, I have no idea how he survived that blitzkrieg from Entity on the B-bomb side.
I mean, all those hours that Sai's been grinding next is now clearly visible. Like, that positioning at the edge of the smoke was absolutely pristine, and the fact that Entity didn't really account for anyone playing close to the bomb site. I think really what did them in. It was a very passive setup from Brutality. A 2-1-2 if I'm not mistaken. There was one play marking drop.
I think 3 people pushed in around the flank.
And then the quick flank that came in.
And I'm actually pretty happy with this. So the thing with the only ace, I might say, the Brutality have up the sleeve is they have Sai playing instead of Rix. Now, on any other day, I might have been like, you know, you're playing with a stand-in. But this is a Sai who was last year the best player of, he was the MVP of the View Arena, the first edition last year, by the way. And he's a player who's been playing, who was a star player for Entity for the longest while. He knows how they play. He knows the tendencies and what they prefer doing. So, like you said, like, although Cobblestone was a surprise pick from Brutality, Sai might have some plan in his mind, but that flashbang wasn't that great. Juventus will get blinded, but Sai doing a lot of damage and in turn getting taken down to 17 points of health. Still a 5v5 there. Bear in mind, Entity getting the bomb down. They've gone for a very, you know, pretty much full eco. Just a few P250s, the nerfed P250s, a deagle in the hands of Excalibur, that's about it. And they'll be looking to just try and probably get some, maybe get a couple of frags. And if they're fortunate, if they get the bomb down, that's huge. And it could happen, because there's one guy playing at the A bomb side all by lonesome, and it's going to be Venom.
And I mean, the bomb down would be the ideal scenario. They did get the bomb down the previous round, so it is going to be armor AK-47s for them in the next round. But it is going to be slightly muted because they do have a deagle on Excalibur, so he's going to have to forego the rifle and go for the utility. But Venom in a very precarious position, spots out Excalibur. He's going to rattle off a few shots, but connects with nothing but air. The rotation will come in, but oh, gets shut down immediately there. And now it all comes down to Ribby, who is going to die.
That looked a little scary for Venom because he was all alone. But I felt Entity could have just kind of at least pushed in towards him, got the kill, but they keep all 5 players alive. That's huge. They have 3 FAMASas, 2 UMPs, no M4s to work with, but utility is pretty solid indeed for Entity, though. They don't get the bomb down in the second round. That means, yes, AKs will come out, armor will come out, but utility will be splashed, which is why we have Excalibur. I'm a little surprised it's Excalibur who's with the UMP. I would rather it would have been Ribby. I mean, Ribby is a support player. I would rather have seen Ribby with the UMP and the utility, but instead Excalibur taking one for the team, as he will be purchasing that Molotov, a couple of flashbangs as well. Have a decent summer utility to work with, but it's gonna most probably be a faster play that's gonna be required from Entity here, because they don't have much utility to work with, and this nade usage from Juventus and Sai over in B is quite abysmal.
Glorious NA nading skills right there. But no, here's the thing, right? Keeping 5 players alive and just going for that full utility buy-up ensures Brutality the safety that they won't be facing off against a fast play, and if they do, they can just burn them out. The Molotovs, the nades, the flashes, everything they'll take so much attrition damage that they'll be half HP even before they get a glimpse of the bomb site. So they kitted up to the teeth here, Brutality, but now it comes down to just sheer firepower. Will they be able to withstand?
They seem to have kind of used up most of the utility early on, however. They still have the 2 incendiaries, but it's in the hand of Wuz and Venom, who aren't anywhere close to the B-bomb. So, sorry, Wuz is playing towards alongside Venom, so the Molotovs are over in A bomb, but action with 45 seconds remaining on the clock. He's going to be coming in towards B. Juventus very low, 1 straight bullet, 1 straight bark, and he's going to get taken down. A-Star is going to find the frag, and now Pex has got him on the line. He's going to go for the spray, finds one. He can get another kill, but he's going to reposition himself wary. There might be a guy pushing out, and Sai finding the good damage. And Pexer gets another kill in the Ribby. That should never have happened. He should have been taken down. He's still alive, although A-Star does trade, finding Sai. It's a 2v3, and it's going to be Hunter getting turned alive, and it's all on A-Star, who lines 2 of them up, and all of a sudden it's all in Venom. In a 1v2, Venom. He knows exactly where A-Star is. He's got a smoke. And A-Star has nothing to work with, both though very low. And A-Star, he's on an ace, by the way. 1-1, and A-Star spraying through the smoke, trying to get lucky at Venom. He does have a kit, but he's so low. 1 straight bullet, and that's all A-Star needs. He gets the ace in a round that truly looked like Brutality had in the bag. They're lining up for a double kill as well, and, well, A-Star living up to his name. One of the most explosive players we have in the Indian scene right now.
I mean,
and for quite a while, let's be honest.
Exactly, like, because I'm going to just bring up something, like, this brings back a lot of memories for me. Back in the day, this was 2 years ago, NVIDIA FPS battle. Brutality versus Entity Gaming. Same 2 teams, just different lineups. A-Star used to play for Brutality back then, and A-Star just single-handedly 1v5 Entity back there. 16-4 was the scoreline in favor of Brutality, and A-Star dropped the 40 bomb. He had 42 frags on this very map. This is his playground. This is his home.
And the scary thing, though, is this time around he's playing with a bunch of other really strong frags. So that's the thing, right? Entity, not only are they in my books tactically very sound as well compared to most Indian teams. But if we just look at the individual skills of most of these players, it is at a very high level. You got A-Star, you got Excali, extremely explosive player. We got A-Star, probably the best aimer in the country by far. We got Hunter as well, who, you know, a year back, if you'd asked anyone in India who's Hunter, not many people would know about him. And even for me, I'm like, yeah, he's a pretty decent player, that's about it. But he has really come into his own in this Entity lineup. You know, he was brought in to stand in the stead of Sai, but he's made his home in Entity just based on his performance. And now, Entity though, it did come down to 1v1, so bear in mind, main utility is still going to be very spotted. The weaponry is not going to be that great. So both the teams in a very precarious position economy-wise, and it's going to come down to which team is going to win this round. So whichever team wins this round is going to force their opponent to go on an eco here.
I mean, like I said, right, Brutality did get the opening picks in that previous round, but would they be able to, at the end of the day, just see through the raw firepower that Entity brings to the table? And that's what ended up doing them in. Venom had a clear shot on A-Star as he crossed over onto B-Long, and he misses his shots. And if you're going to miss easy shots on people like A-Star, you know, these players aren't going to forgive you. They're not going to give you a second chance. Entity are a team that you give them an inch, they'll take a foot off you. And, oh, quick trades coming in towards drop. Yep. Excali does find Pex, so it's a 4v4, but in this situation, again, it's going to favor the T's because they can bunch up and just hit a bomb site.
And rotations, of course, in a map like Cobblestone can take forever, so it's going to come down to Venom and Wuz, who really haven't seen much action towards the A bomb set apart from their one anti-eco round. And they're going to be facing A-Star and Excali, making their way up mid. A-Star with the bomb on his back. He's going to be walking out. Venom didn't spot him out. He's going to spot it. Excalibur, no, he's not. And this is very scary indeed. And Acer, he pounces on them, goes for the spray, finds both of them, and that's the A-bomb set completely, utterly compromised. Ace finds Sai on the lurk, and Juventa, he realizes there's not much he can do to go for this retake, and he's going to get hunted down. They know Brutality's money is in the dumpster. And they're going to try and ensure that he doesn't save anything the next round. Look at how fast Hunter is on the hunt. He's trying to catch Juventa, and he very well might. He does. And he doesn't need to take the fight here. He just needs to stay alive, call for backup from the rest of his teammates. Ace is coming in from behind as well, and Juventa, he knows one exit has been closed off by Hunter. He's in a rough spot here. He wants to keep this alive. And Ace, he's on the hunt. Then M4 one of his, and he's going to destroy Juventa. Bullet to the face, no head armor, no helmet, and it's going to be Entity tying things up. And more importantly, they have completely dismantled Brutality's economy.
I mean, that money is looking absolutely shambolic right now. And like that's the thing. It is CT side on Cobblestone. I personally hate playing CT side on Cobblestone. It's so restrictive. It's so suffocating because there's very little you can do in terms of information plays or even power plays, as I'd like to call them. You can't really assert map control in any positive way. Oh, some team damage coming in. Ace being brought down to 39 HP right off the bat. Someone getting a bit too excited about their new knife, I see, on Entity, but they are going off against a full eco team. It's just, what, 1 P250 on Sai, everyone else is just stopped as they come. And Sai trying to make the best of things as they look bleak, taking a lot of fire damage, and this round should be an open and shut case. Ribby just going to look with Daddy's little trust fund gun, the Mac-10. And he is going to mint money. Gets 2, switches to the pistol. Okay, wow. That took a while. But finally, Ribby gets put down, but there's Hunter. And he picks up a brace as well. Pexer left alone, 1v4 with a USP and a dream. And whoa, okay, get put down. That's one rifle taken away from the hands of Entity, but they are gonna go into the lead. 3 rounds to 2, 5 rounds in. And Brutality, their money is still looking pretty darn abysmal, and they will go for the force. They will have little to no utility and no kits either.
This is a buy I've seen time and time again. Now here's the thing, like, I can't really blame just Indian teams for this. I've seen Asian teams be guilty of this, and even Tier 2 EU teams, where when you're kind of forced in a scenario where, you know, you need that, especially on a map like Cobblestone, right, having a couple of incendiaries can pretty much win a round single-handedly, and just investing purely in M4s would, look at this, minute and 40 seconds on the clock, they have 1 smoke, 3 flash rounds, and a nade remaining, not a single kit either. It's going to come down to contact plays, and you're going to be facing off against the most stacked team in the country, where, you know, they have the firepower. You don't want to just rely on pure aim to win these deals. You want to use each other, you want to play the map, and I'm not a big fan of this buy, Archie.
Not at all. Like, look, it's still early days. Give it another eco and just go in with everything you've got and hit them where it hurts. But nope, we'll just, you know, go in with a half buy, a couple of nades, and just rifles and hope to just out-aim them. You can't. This is A-Star, Excali, Hunter, and Ace. They're one of the most experienced and most explosive lineup in the country. And A-Star will just perform instant facial reconstruction surgery on Sai, but Juventa returning the favor in a heartbeat. So it's still a 4v4. And it is A-Star who does get taken down, the most explosive player on the server as of now. And oh, Juventa doing God's own work. Gets a second for the round. Just as I say, whoa! Flurry of kills going back and forth. Was holding his own for as long as possible.
Trying his best to get that flower pot to cover him, but the flower pot getting perforated by the AK-47's Ribby. Ribby getting two very crucial kills. And now Venom left in a 1v2. Bomb getting planted. Excali is going to be making contact immediately, and it's going to come to Venom to hit his shots. He is capped, coming home. The flashbang was pristine from Excali. Venom doing his best Helen Keller impression, getting completely decimated. And Brutality, well, it is a 4th round loss bonus, so they can afford a few pistols. They can even go for a little bit of armor, but ideally, I would rather them just go for pistols and try and purchase all the utility they can. And Ribby knows this. He's going to be looking to, you know, make a little bit more bank this time again, get that dirty MAC-10 SMG money. The drive-by is going to be coming in from Brutality. Yep, it is just going to be just a few couple of P250s. I played a couple of pugs the other day. I haven't played Counter-Strike CS in quite a while. Not doing it with work and everything.
Season.
Yeah, it is kind of PUBG season, but the thing with the P250 is it feels very different. I'll be honest. And I'm actually happy about it. A $300 pistol should be able to get one-tap shots at close range. And that's something which I'm very happy about being nerfed. And speaking of being nerfed, now that we have been nerfed with that pistol buy, obviously there's nothing they can do. Don't get even a single kill. It's a little unfortunate for Ribby that he just got one frag with that MAC-10 of his. As it is going to be 5-2 for Entity, who despite losing the first 2 rounds have bounced back. They've managed to string together 5 rounds in a row. And from Brutality, it is max loss bonus kicking in. They have everything to work with, and now we have Sai with a big green gun. He's filling in for Rix, who is the primary opera, so he's got... And yeah, I mean, in many of the teams he's played as a primary opera as well, a very versatile player. Let's see where he goes with this. He's going to be going towards A, towards mid, but there's no one there instead. It might be a very fast play coming out towards B, where Venom is blinded, and Ribby with the Mac, and he's looking to find some information. He's dropped out already to his crack. Going to be pushing in, and it's going to be taken down by Juventa though. But it was just a Mac trying to gather information. Now he knows there's no one playing close by. They're playing from the side, from the rock, and Juventa from above trying to find something, but Hunter will decapitate him. And now 4v4 once more, although Excali is quite low indeed, but A-Star finds close. Venom trying to be sneaky, he's going for the first trade, but he's finding nothing. Ace is playing that perfectly. Pexer gets a kill, but he's going to get traded. It's all on Sai. He's in a 1v4, and that's a lot, 1v3, I'm sorry. He's got a lot of work to do. Bomb planted as well. 2 of the players are so very low, that is Ace and Excali, both of them trapped in the site. And they're trying to tease it out, trying to find out where Sai is going to be coming in from inside. He riles off a shot, but it is a save. It is a call for the save. Brutality can go for to get another buy, but again, it's going to be $3,400, and they have, like, you know, an average of like $500 in the bank. So yeah, they can go for an okay buy, but it's still going to be very sparse indeed.
34, it's, I would save.
Yeah, they're going to have like $3,800, close to 4,000. So it's going to be what UMPs for masters and armor. Yeah, I would call for the save as well. And Sai, he needs to keep this AWP alive. A few shots, that was so well played, and Ace, he snuck in, he wrapped around, and that's the op taken away from the hands of Side. That means it has to be a save now. There's no point going for a force here, and it should be some pistols and armor coming out this time around. They do have a little bit of money, extra money to work with.
Again, I wouldn't really, like, given the current state of the pistols, I wouldn't really put too much faith in them. I'd rather just go for a full hard eco, just bite the bitter pill, take a full eco, compose myself, just chalk out a decent strat for the next round when you do have all the utility and all the guns, and not, you know, get choked like you did in the previous round. They have so much utility to throw at Entity, and they know exactly where they're coming from, and still you just end up getting brute forced on the B bomb site. It just speaks a lot about the mental state that Brutality are currently in, because I don't think apart from Sai, anyone really has a grip on Cobblestone.
As Excali destroys Juventa. They had a stack over in A, but that one skill is going to draw it out. Plus 3 nades, by the way. But I like what Entity are doing, taking it slow, not really walking into the stack. They know that, you know, Brutality could have potentially gone for a force buy. They could have potentially gone for pistols and armor. Seasons and armor, very, very viable indeed.
What are your thoughts on the current trend of, you know, the current trend of the CZ coming back into vogue, even on the T side? People would rather go with the CZ and T side rather than the Tech 9.
I mean, it is it's an automatic pistol that shoots pure hellfire if you know how to aim. And let's be honest, all these guys know how to aim. So why not? If you can control that erratic and rapid spray, like whatever this gun is when you shoot it at full auto, or if you're very good at tapping, because the first bullet accuracy on this gun is absolutely ridiculous. It can hit a headshot, pinpoint accuracy cross map. So if you're good with it, and Venom has shown time and time again that he is the god of CS, he's the of CZ. And just as I try and praise him, he gets his head blown clean off by Ribby. But there is Sai, gets a consolation kill for himself. But can he find more? No, he cannot. Hunter just shuts him down. And yeah, 7-2.
Speaking of money, the money is looking absolutely ridiculous for Entity. They're swimming in Skrilla, Archie.
Yeah, they're Scrooge McDucks. They can literally fill up swimming pools with that money and swim in it till Kingdom Come.
Yep. 2 AWPs of Brutality. I mean, they're not really getting anything done. I'd like to see Wuz and Sai go for some picks here. Wuz is going to be towards mid with Venom. Smoke is going to immediately force back. Sai is going to be playing towards B with an AWP, where most of the action has been taking place. But Entity have switched things up. His presence coming out towards mid. There's one guy, I think that is Excali, who was floating, sorry, that was Ace. He's floating around towards drop, but it is going to be an A hit by the looks of it. Still early days though, they can still fall back if required. But Woods is going to be seeing a lot of action. He's going to make contact, route off a shot. He's seen at least 2 players, and that's going to be calling out the rotation from Pexa. He's going to flash his way in. It's a great timing there from the flashback, finding 2 people. Pexa finds one. Was spots out a barrel of a gun, and he spots Excali as well, but Excali entries in like a boss. Finds was Pexa does reply back. There's a player floating around. It's going to be Venom, but gets a kill onto Ace, but Hunter replies back. It's 2v3. Finally, something going the way of Brutality, but one-man advantage is not too much, especially when you're going to have to face off against Hunter, who has definitely been on point. He's waiting for the flank to come around. Ribby's playing it smart. He's not budging yet. They still have a lot of time to work with, and they know this. And he's the guy with the C4. If he crosses on over towards the side, if he gets the bomb down, it could be a player, gets a spray right. Juven is going to get taken down. Pexa finds Hunter in the meantime, though, but not before he's taking a lot of damage. Ribby, 2 flashbangs to work with.
It is doable for Ribby. He has shown that he is capable of hitting those nasty shots. He's been getting crucial kills. Okay, he's dead.
Side hits him a triple kill. And after what felt like forever, Brutality get to round number 3. But not before Entity managed to string 7 rounds in a row to get, not just string 7 rounds in a row, string 7 rounds in a row very convincingly. And that means the money is ridiculous. I've said this before, but when 4 players are over 10,000, and 2 players at $16,000, that is just obscene.
Not even pristine. That is obscene.
That is obscene indeed. And Entity have gone for the attack pass. I like this. I like this. Bear in mind, Brutality had 2 players survive. And A-Star, there we go. Look at his impact rating. I mean, this is his map. He's got 1.78, an ADR of 111, right? And, I mean, it's 10 rounds.
Yeah.
It's been just 10 rounds, and he's been just so impactful throughout this entire game. And by the way, for those of you new to the impact rating from So Strong, it is basically 1 is the average. 1.7 is get out of here. Just get out of here.
1.7 is, like, you know, what you would expect. Like good European CS players to be holding consistently, in my opinion, or a Bentet.
Or a Bentet. We do see Entity have gone for 2 timeouts back-to-back. I think that's how it works. They can string the timeouts together if they do wish to go for it. So each team has 3 timeouts of 30 seconds each. Entity have just used up 2 of theirs. So I'm curious to see what they have in mind here. Or it could also be the other way, where they just try and, you know, kind of put a pause on whatever momentum Brutality would be looking for to build up. You know, try and just, like, make them overthink it, make Sai overthink, oh, they might be planning something very complicated, and they just come bursting out to the B-bomb side. It could be that as well.
I mean, I'm getting that tingling sensation where it's just telling it, like, just one word is just floating around in my head saying, reset, reset.
It could happen. It could happen. Brutality are sitting on the precipice of the economy reset. They need to win this round as well, and they need to win this round without losing too many players. They don't have the luxury, and Pexa is going to be spraying through the smoke. Won't find anyone, however, as A-Star doing his best all of Meister impression. But that nade is going to take a chunk out of him. Should be careful. Bullets whizzing right past his face. There's Entity. They have slowed it down, but they haven't really done much yet. They've sent up A-Star. He's fallen back. The Molotov is good, and the play is going to be coming inside. Should be careful. He's out in the open, but he's going to not spot anyone out yet.
Fun fact, the AWP that Sai is using is mine. Used to be. Now it's his, but...
I'm trying to...
blur that out?
I know, I'm trying to, like, you know, I don't know, like, imply something here.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a beautiful AWP.
are you, like, his sugar daddy or something?
I could be. Do you want me to be Blair?
I don't know, Archie. I don't know. But here we go. It's going to be play coming in. Juventus got himself a great spot here. You know, one thing Entity have done a good job of is the fact that they have forced Brutality to use up all the utility. And Brutality have barely entered the work with yet. 3 flashbangs and a Molotov, and Juventus is going to get taken on. Sai needs to stay alive. He needs to land a couple of shots at least. He's alone! He's alone, Archie, and he's dead. As was is going to be smoked off, and that was Entity playing that to perfection. The new Brutality, you know, this round was very crucial for Brutality. They took the time. A-Star just kept peeking and prodding, just prodding them, forcing them to use all the utility, and they all fell like a pack of cards. One by one, Woods is going to get destroyed by Hunter. They save nothing, and Entity lose 1 man. That's all they lose. It's a team ace as well. That was beautifully played. They dismantle Brutality.
Reset.
Reset, yeah.
Just call me Nostradamus, Blair. Just call me Nostradamus. No longer am I Fett. I am Nostradamus, the one, the only. Actually, the Nostradamus of Indian CS. Yeah, I like that title. It has a nice, has some gravitas to it. Anyway, enough touting
Egotistical
my own
much?
horn. Yeah, but
Narcissism.
Narcissism. It's good. It's good.
It's good. What's not good is Brutality's money.
Wait, my bank account is better than this, and that is
saying something.
Saying something.
The fast play comes out towards speed. This is a nice call, and Ribby is going to fall. Helped out a little bit by Excali, but A-Star does make up for it, and they have invested in a bit of utility here. And this stack is working wonders, and that's a call immediately for them to fall on back. They just got to completely leave, evacuate the premises, head over to A where there's no one there. And Brutality have picked up the MAC-10 and the AK-47, but they have no more utility, no armor, nothing. Just that AK-47 and a prayer on their lips. Hunter is going to make contact with Woods. That's a MAC-10 taken out. There's a guy in the side, though. Hexer, he knows where, well, they know where he is. But he's still alive. Not for much more longer. He's going to get taken down, and that is going to be a 9-3 Entity. Making quick work. Looked a little scary, but I like that immediate switch up. They didn't like dilly-dally around. The second they knew there were at least 3 or 4 players at B, they knew it was a full eco. They just barreled towards A bomb side, cleaned it out. And there we go. 9-3 Entity with a very solid start. They won the knife round. They opted for the T side, and they're showing what they're doing here. And Brutality, again, 3 rounds remaining, Archie.
Yeah,
they need all 3 rounds, don't
and this is turning out to be a very bitter homecoming for Sai. I mean, he imagined himself like the prodigal son return, but instead it's just been one of the most bitter homecomings I have seen. Because for those of you who are new to the Indian scene or just new to watching Indian CS, Sai started his career at Brutality, if I'm not mistaken, or he was one of his earlier MXP.
He's played a lot of teams earlier.
No, but he was a
He was an MXP, he was in Brutality. He's been almost every team, I think. Invisible Wings, he's been an Entity, and now he's back to Brutality again.
Yeah.
And like you said, the homecoming has not been that great yet. Here comes the play. Juventa, he's in a good spot. The Molotov is far away from his position. He's going to re-aggress out. Got to be careful about that flashbang. Molotov's going to burn behind him. He can get a kill here. The second the smoke dissipates, his crosshair is right on Ribby's head through the smoke, but he doesn't know it, neither does Ribby. And Ribby's going to do the smart thing, fall back. But he's out in the open. This is very, very risky from him. And Juventus doing the smart thing, not really budging out. And Excali had a bullet with Juventus' name written on it.
You had to jinx it. You just had to jinx it.
Rather, Excali jinxed it. And now 3v5. Ribby finds Pexa. They're taking fights 1 by 1. There's no trade game coming in from Brutality. And Sai and Venom are like, what's going on? Well, Sai does find Hunter. But the bomb is far, far away. And A-Star is there to find Venom. And it's all on Sai in a 1v3 against his old teammates, and A-Star will get taken down. The flash getting avoided very comfortably. It's still a 1v3. Ribby is, however, internally hemorrhaging, and Sai just trying to hold on to his AK-47. They can still go for kind of a 4C buy the next round, because it is going to be max loss bonus, but $3,400 is not much to work with. Actually, no, it is the 3rd round loss bonus, so they're going to have to go for another eco here. Sai has got Ribby, and he's now fancying his chances, but time has ticked away, and Ace is in such a great position. He's going to assassinate Sai from behind. 10-3 will be the scoreline. And Brutality's money is once again, say it with me together, Archie, in the dumpster.
Yeah, dumpster. Complete and utterly dumpstered. It's the dry waste that gets disposed every week back home. But anyway, moving on. 10-3, and like I was saying, and like the analysts were saying, why would you go for Cobblestone against Entity? Simple things that confuse me about Indian Counter-Strike. And the simple things here is the map pool and the map veto. Why would you go with it when you're the only player? Like Sai is the captain, so I'm assuming he had a lot of input with the map pool. And A-Star is just shooting fish in a barrel. Look at that. 3 for him. Excali gets the trade onto Sai. And yeah, Venom, the drop of an hat, is the lone survivor, and Hunter is going to see to it that Venom's pushing daisies with his teammates.
You can see Sai looking a little perturbed. He's like, guys, it's all right. He's like raising his hand saying, you know, it's all right, boys. It's not that bad. We still have 3 rounds to the CD side. It's a T-sided map. But to be honest, the way Entity are playing right now, this is the thing with this team. They're very frustrating that they've had so many close games in the past against other Indian teams that they should have won very convincingly. But off late, they've really looked pretty solid, at least against their fellow countrymen. They've been looking very, very dominant.
I mean, the thing with Entity is that they've played these boys across the aisle for so many times. They know their tendencies, and they can just shut them down. So the thing I've seen about Entity is that they struggle to close out games against newer lineups and newer teams because they don't really have a read on how they play. But they know how Sai plays. They know exactly how the boys in Brutality play. And look at that. A-Star gets 1 kill. Juventa, 5 HP. That's barely staying alive. Internally bleeding here.
They're going to line up. They're going to line up. Oh, no. That looked so close. We'll get the trade now. 3v3. Can Brutality at least get one more round on board is the question. Excali will say, no. Good night, Wooz. And Pexter and Venom left in a 2v3. And Venom is in a great position here. It's all about timing. If they take a little too long, Venom, he can line them both up. He's going to find one, goes for the spray, gets both of them, and it's going to be Pexter picking up the final kill. And that is going to be the first half, looking extremely one-sided, to be very honest. And the second half is going to be coming up after a very quick break. But before that, we're going to have a very short break.
गेम में आगे जाने के लिए माउंटेन ड्यू की बोतल उठा, कोड एसएमएस कर। हर दिन एक गेमिंग लैपटॉप जीतने का चांस। पाओ हर पैक पर 500 रुपए जबोंग वाउचर। माउंटेन ड्यू, नाम बनते हैं रिस्क से।
English channel पे दे center Hindi ad.
But what Brutality need is something else. Because it is going to be 11-4. The pistol round is live, and it is going to be Brutality here on the T side, the more favorite side, at least when it comes to Indian meta, and they're going to be coming down towards drop, where it's going to be, well, action taking place. Sai is going to fall immediately to Ace, and Excali holding the line. And Excali tapping away. He's going to get nothing more, but Hunter and Ace are hunting everyone down. Juventa is going to be left alone in a 1v3. He's got the smoke and a flash, but that's all he has. The Glock, it's the new Glock. It's an upgraded Glock, but there's not much he can do with it. He gets taken down, and Entity, there's no stopping the pain train.
Yeah, that... How is Ace alive at Chicken Coop for so long? And the answer, I'm going to be rhetorical here, because Hunter played that to perfection. He drew so much attention towards himself at Statue that it allowed Ace to just juke in and out of cover and just pop heads like, you know, teenage kids pop pimples on their noses and face.
Some people get pimples even after teenage years.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm still hitting puberty, it seems.
A 25-year-old teenager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 at heart. 13, sorry. Math is weak.
Although, I did read this article where it says that puberty has become much more, I don't know, it's gone back. Early to be 13 is the teenage years, but now kids nowadays, man. Even in Counter-Strike, the kids like 13 years of age, like Forsaken from Indonesia, from Aerowolf, 13 years of age, and it's just wrecking kids everywhere. He's wrecking, but people have been playing this game for like over 10 years in Asia.
Hux.
Hux. We're too old for this. Here comes Brutality with the force fight towards the B-bomb side. Ace waiting. He's got Excali as well. It's a pretty decent crossfire setup. Ace is going to get taken down by Pexo, but Excali is there to trade. Finds one, finds two. Ribby finds Venom, looking for the third kill, and Excali, he's just raining death from above. And Sai is going to be wondering what just happened. Why is everyone dead?
I mean, that's been the theme for Brutality. There's one player who's just like it's like that comic relief in a western, who's like invading the fort with the bad guys, and then in the blink of an eye, he's just left alone, bloody, bruised, and battered in the battlefield, looking left and right, and he's just amidst like a gruesome death trap with all his comrades in arms just lying, pushing up daisies, just 6 feet under. There's just.
Do you listen to metal?
I try.
Because that sounded like some metal album, like some, you know, some of the Viking metal albums where they talk about death, destruction, and glory and crap. But Sai is going to be in a 1v4. He's trying his best to get something out of his investment, which he will. He finds Ribby. And I don't know why you would jump. Sai!
Time's up. Why would you die?
What are you doing, Sai? Why would you commit suicide after the time expired? He's got no money. Can we just take a look at the cash, please? And A-Star increases impact rating to 1.9 now. He's got 18 kills, 128 ADR in 18 rounds. He's been the MVP, the impact player for this game so far. And can you just open up the money, Mr. Observer? There we go. Sai. Sorry. Yeah, Sai has $300. Nothing. What was he thinking? Was he thinking?
I call this a classic case of a brain fart.
Meanwhile, A-Star farming money. He gets two. He's looking for more. The USP is going to come out. Maybe sticking around a little too long there, but Ribby is there to pick up the pieces, and it's all on Mr. Wuz, who can find nothing. Hunter's going to mow him down with an MP9. Almost all the kills going the way of the SMGs. That's more money in the bank. Entity are on 14 rounds. They need 2 more to close this one out and win the first game of the day in what looks in a very convincing fashion. Brutality. This is it. This is do or die. This is make or break. Pretty much.
Yesterday, Sai walked up to me and asked, what map should I pick against Entity? And I categorically remember telling him, don't pick Cobblestone. I think I have to write it down, tattoo it on his forearm, saying that do not pick Cobblestone against Entity.
But there is, however, you know, there's always the school of thought that since he has played with them, A-Star getting a little too hungry, perhaps. He does just have the UMP, though, just trying to farm something. Hunter, MP9 will not work against AK-47, and Ribby is going to be forced back. Molotovs, flashes, smokes raining from both the sides. Ribby is going to be left all alone alongside Ace. You know, 2v5, there's not much they can do. However, they have money. They definitely have money. So what they can do right now is go for exits, ensure even a Brutality win the round, take away 2 or 3 guns, win the next round, reset the money, win, and close out the game. That could be the game plan here. And Ace has the right idea. He's playing pretty close towards the murder hole. And there you go. First kill goes his way. Finds Sai.
I mean, the thing is, this has been a problem with Entity, is that they tend to become a bit overconfident and start throwing rounds, and then it just snowballs from there. Right, like Ace right now, not Ace, who is this player on Entity? Yeah, Ribby has $1,300, so it's essential that he save his gun, that is the M4. And he is going to manage it, but the thing is, you know, you don't want to give your opponents any momentum. So Counter-Strike is as much a game of confidence and momentum as it is about skill and strategy. And, you know, you don't want to give a player like Sai, you know, any kind of leverage to wiggle his way back into a game. He is that explosive a player. He is that good a mind at CS, but then he did pick Cobblestone against Entity. So there I am, putting my own foot in my mouth. Time and time again, it's been my USP since I started casting, it seems. But yeah, guns are there. Ace with the UMP, and
Hunter is going to be feeling some pressure here. He's going to be feeling the heat, and because of that, he's going to be falling back. He's the player with the AWP. And one thing I enjoy about watching about Hunter is how versatile he is. He's always been put in the rough spot in this team, and I think now they're realizing what a gem they have in their hands, and now they're finally putting him in positions where he can do more damage from instead of having to play all the hard roles, where he's performed phenomenally well, by the way. And now A-Star and Hunter. A-Star is going to be seeing some action. This is the guy who just loves holding W and left click and getting kills. Oh, Hunter finds the first kill. A-Star. This is a great bait play, though, and they have a nice crossfire setup here. Ribby closing up. trying to bait it out. They're trying their best to bait out the players, but Hunter, he's holding down the line. He finds one more kill. A-Star gets spotted out, but he goes for the spray, finds the both of them. It's all on side, 1v5. There's nothing he can do. Ribby is going to pick up the frag for himself as well. 15-5, and more importantly, Brutality's money is looking absolutely shambolic. They have enough to go for 3 AKs, maybe 4 AKs, but actually, yeah, they had decent money. It was only Sai who was kind of broke there. They did keep 4 players alive, my bad. But in the end, 15-5, 10 map points. Do you believe, Archie?
What was my prediction before the game started?
16-7?
6.
16-6, all right.
One off. Nostradamus.
They could still get another round, I guess.
Okay.
Well, you are the de facto Indian expert.
Doesn't take much.
So I'm just gonna take your word for it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think any one of us were surprised that NET would win this game. But the fashion they're winning in right now, they're looking extremely dangerous at the moment. And Pexa, Excali trying to put the moves in, trying to be off his way out of that kind of precarious position. He does get a dink in before, by the way, before he got taken down. So Pexa is down 11 points of health. So Brutality do have the man advantage, but they still have to find Ace, A-Star, Ribby, and Hunter, who have all been looking on point.
And they're not really keen on dying, it seems. Look at that. Ace gets 1, gets 2, almost gets the 3rd. But okay, the man parity still remains. It's still a 3v3. And yet again, it is going to favor the T's if they do bunch up.
That was huge because it was a 5v4 man advantage. Neutralizes the man advantage completely. And even though he got taken down, it's 3v3 and Hunter. With the AWP, he's going to make contact spots on a player! You veto, what are you doing? Gets completely, utterly demolished. A-Star, like we all know, he loved just going for the kills, and Hunter just needs to stay alive here. 34 seconds, they need to come to him. They need to come to him, and Ribby's there as well with a flashback. Hunter's playing this smart. He's repositioned himself, and Ribby is trying to rattle off a few shots, and it's going to be Hunter. He spots out Venom, that's it. It's all on side. The Magic Man with an AK-47, he's going to come in, trying to get the hunt, but Ribby is there to end him. And there you have it, 16-5, a very, very solid showing coming in from Entity Esports. I mean, there's nothing much you can say about that, Archie.
It was just pure destruction. It
yeah.
was just pure
I mean, that's all we have
destruction.
from our end here. So over to the analyst desk, where I'm sure we have Adi, we have Mamba, and of course we have Hector, waiting to break down what was, in our opinion, a complete, utter stomp.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And talking about the matchup, it's been quite a matchup. And Hector, you were actually saying that this is literally exactly how you guys play Counter-Strike in Europe back there.
Yeah, so particularly the way Entity was playing Cobble is kind of the way that our team plays it. Now, our team, disclaimer, we don't really like to play Cobble. A lot of European teams like to play Cobble, but when you do, you normally have 1A, 1 drop.
Hector, I need to cut you off right now because I think there's an issue with your microphone. But Adi, getting back to it right now, you did mention the fact that Entity is the best team in the country, and map like Cobblestone, which is supposed to be an insta-ban coming in for a team like Brutality. How do you think that's going to get fixed?
So, look, I don't understand why Brutality has played Cobble. First of all, that was the first thing instantly. I have a problem with that. There wasn't much to read out of this game, to be honest, because I think even Brutals, even though they tried valiantly, it's just about why put yourself in such a position, right? But I guess they knew that they're going to lose to Entity anyways. Let's beat the other 2 guys and get to the finals. I think that should be Brutality's way into the finals. And since this is a group stage round robin and Eternal has their issues, Shooting Monkeys not that great a team as well, according to me. So it's interesting.
And who do you think is going to be the MVP for the matchup?
So the MVP is definitely A-Star. I think A-Star was a standout player, man. He had so many multi-kills, so many multi-frags in this game. And his stats are on the screen right now. He had a clutch as well. He had a 1v3 clutch in the 3rd round. Single-handedly, he turned the game around because Brutality had a great start on CD side. But then on the 3rd round, on the gun round, A-Star happens. And eventually, he just doesn't drop off. I think his IR is at 2, right? I can't see from here. But he had a very high impact rating as well.
It's 1.8.
Yeah, 1.8. I mean, come on, that's insane. Like, people on So Strong get banned for having an impact rating of 1.8.
He was good last year too.
He was really
good.
And
really good last year.
Let's not forget the fact that he actually played with Brutals the last year.
Yeah.
So how do you think? Yeah, has he improved? Has it changed, or has it been the same?
Well, no, he was actually very good last year at the tournament. So he seems to be like keeping up that form. And in particular, as I was saying earlier before the technical difficulty, their team Entity played Kabul the way that most Europeans team play Kabul. It's 1A, 1 drop, 3B. The A defender was really good. He pushed up when he needed to. He was very careful. He had a really good play on the, I think, the second round on CT side. He like controlled the information. He obviously communicated very well. They moved very well on B site, B plat. They moved very high. So to me, it was very interesting seeing that they had a very European style. And quite frankly, I think that's why they won. I think we also talked about it before, how it's very difficult to play Kabul with a sub.
I actually think they, Brutality, playing with the sub, they played better than they would have without him, to be honest. Because at least the few rounds that they picked up were, I think, only because of Sai. And
Ali, I might have to cut you off. I'm sorry for that, because that's all the time we have. We are going to come back after the break, but we actually have an interview lined up as well. Angela is waiting for us upstairs. So Angie, take it over.
How does that feel? Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back. I'm with the winning captain right now, Ayush, who just took a game of Brutality. Tell me about that game and how it went for you guys.
In the start, we lagged a few rounds. Like in pistol round, we didn't play well. And after that, the first gun round went in our favor. Then it was just an easy game for us. And yeah, they played really well though. But it was like we had strats and also it was easy for us.
All right, so I want to ask you this. You're playing against one of your former teammates, Simar Sethi, if I'm not wrong.
They all are my former teammates.
They all are your former teammates. Because I think last year when you came with Brutality. And you all placed second. And now coming into this tournament, you all look really, really confident about this one. So what are your thoughts about that? And how this whole thing work for you? Playing against them, does it have any negative impacts?
It has, like they know my gameplay. But I have 4 players, so I can tell them what all 5 of them do.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's like more favoring us.
Okay. And in January, I think you guys have formed in January, Entity Gaming.
Yeah, January
and
2017.
from the time you'll have formed, you'll have always stuck together.
Yeah, except that Simmer left and Hunter joined in.
Yeah. Do you
rest
think
of the time.
that gives you a slight advantage over the other teams?
Yeah, obviously, because we know our games in and out and we know like how to react to situations. Like we have been in all the situations right now, so we know how to react to them. So yeah, it's easy for us to play together.
All right. And is there a team that you're fearing right now in this tournament?
I don't think so. I think we are the favorites and we'll go ahead like that.
Y'all are the favorites. That is so amazing. And how do you like the experience at Mountain Dew? You were last year, you're coming in here this year. What's it like to just be
It's
here?
great this year. Everyone has their own rooms. They can like make their strats. They can talk to each other. They can take pauses. They have everything on their own. And yeah, everything is perfect this year.
Yeah. And on a scale of 1 to 10, if I have to give you a Mountain Dew excitement level, how much is your excitement at this point?
Right now, 5.
5?
First game. It's a first game.
Yeah. But you're going to go to like a 10 by the time the next game gets played. Who are you playing against next?
Eternal next.
Eternal. So
Yeah.
is that going to be a little bit more of a competition? Are you worried about that game?
No, we are just going to play our games. We are not going to look like who's playing against us.
All right.
So,
And what would it be like to see yourself on that Mountain Dew cup?
I've not thought of it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, one thing at a time.
Okay, your mom would be really proud of you.
Yeah, she would.
All right. So any
Definitely.
shout outs you want to make to your fans, your teammates, anybody?
Entity Gaming owner Neerav Rukhana and our manager Sid Joshi and my whole team. They're
All
playing
right.
brilliantly.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so
By the way,
much.
again, and best of luck for your next game.
Thank you so much.
All right, that was Ayush for you guys, and I will see you all really soon with another player.
Well, thanks a lot, Angie. And well, that was Asa for you guys, but don't go anywhere. We still have a lot more matches. 10 to be precise. We have 10 matches coming up. We actually have Buriza versus White Shadows, the Dota 2 game coming up, and we're actually going to have Nishant and Swifty coming back in as well. But in the meantime, we are going to go on a really, really short break, so don't go anywhere.
Just waited a tad bit too long. The Red Door got the repel, got a purification, the blood right comes in as well, and it It looks like Aggressive could be the one going down here. Sal's up on the back line. His Sal runs out. He gets brought down by Negi. As Kuroko Tetsuya goes down next. Negi with the double. Has the rupture if he wants to go for the triple. Commits it indeed. Pops his face boots and runs wide at deep stretch. One punch, two punch. Make it a triple, Negi. But Negi, he's gone in deep. Meanwhile, the Echo Slam was there behind. All the way down in the illusion. Back into the fray here. You've got the stun coming out. They've got the kill on Kuroko Tetsuya. But the Guardian Angel keeps him alive. The Diffuser Blade purges up Negi. But remember, he still has the Aegis. As Aggressive will be the first one to go down. It's a double kill for Negi, who's still giving chase. The stun stops the Darkseer in his tracks, and Darkseer burns down to the Radiance, while Negi, once an Ultra, chooses not to go into the fountain, instead comes back. Slow and painful takedown. The hook is gonna miss. The Aegis is snatched by Negi. He does have the Eclipse. He has the Aegis to work with. He's gonna wait for life number one to go down. The lone druid gets swapped out of safety. Doesn't quite die just yet. The hook to dismember on the backside, keeping the Queen of Pain at bay, who plays back out. Negi with the Eclipse. The Echo Slam from Gorenko. They've got the kills. They've got the double kill coming out. They've got the Fission holding Arrow. And Arrow goes down next. Oh man, KKL comes into the fray, but the barracks are dropping. The hook is there. It'll pull back Flair further behind. It's mega creeps in favor of KKL. And this time it looks like it could really be over, but I've said that too soon. Again, it's 4 down on the side of KKL with Draw Ranger being controlled. The shrines are popped again. It's a 5-man wipe. Got in there with the damage done. Even Pudge just walks forward and TFOs are dropping like flies here. No BKB, well, they have a BKB on Negi, but what can they really do here? There's the GG coming out. Brett spies the hook, finds nobody. There's the jump in though, they've got the 7 wards dropped down, the global silence is there, so no Guardian Angel comes through the back, the wall is there and it's beautiful. They're brought down to, there's the buyback from the Pudge, but the Guardian Angel has been dropped and they've gone in behind onto the Lina. She pops the cheese and continues to fight. The corrosive Aegis has been dropped, meanwhile on the front line, the Aegis has been expended. Deep Breaths, they're just circling around that Ursa who's gonna respawn, gets Hex, but the crush comes out onto 3. There's the Zip, Negi's in trouble, he turns around and tries to fight, but Arrow with a double kill. Upside slowly and surely they're gonna chip away on this. A hook from downtown finds Lina, but they do enter the fray with the shrines popped back the wall as well. They've brought down Perseverance. They're going for the next one. Deep Breath stays alive with the Guardian Angel pop. Lina taking a beating, getting zipped upon, getting jumped upon, gets surged on out, but ends up surviving with the Glimmer Cape as well. Oh man, that was a defense from the depths of
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again with Dota 2, and again, Nishant, that's CloudX, by the way, and we have Swifty as well coming back in. And talking about the matchup, it is going to be Buriza versus White Shadows. So both of these teams look pretty promising because I've read about them. I got an article coming in. Now I've seen that both of these teams have been performing really, really strong. But before we get into those details, we'll actually have a look at the team number 1 in question, Team Buriza.
An explosive team with a penchant for being the source of mayhem. Team Buriza are quickly becoming one of the most fair teams in the Indian Dota 2 scene. Led by their veteran captain, the team performs exceptionally well as a unit and are thus the dark horses of the tournament with a solid chance of slaying the big guns.
Well, that's Team Buriza for you guys, and I've actually heard something about them, Cloud. They've only been functional since January 2017. That's not a very long time for a Dota 2 team, or any team in fact. What do you think about that?
I mean, their players have been around for a little longer than that, and they have been playing in different teams before that. But like you said, Buriza was an organization that came together, and the brand came together not too long ago. I believe they've got a boot camp house going for themselves as well, so they've been training pretty hard.
And I've been reading about their philosophy, so to speak. They actually came together because of the Indian Dota 2 community, and it was to promote the new talent coming up. And Swifty, you mentioned the fact that they were based in Delhi before.
Yeah.
Now they've moved to Hyderabad. Is there a specific reason just moving down to Hyderabad?
The sponsors behind Buriza, they were based from Delhi, and they were having plans of having the boot camp in Delhi, but since the players were from Hyderabad, so they decided to shift the boot camp there, which will be convenient. So yeah.
And talking about the players to look out for, we actually have Pulse, Clownk, and Helm as well. Now, one of the other things that you mentioned that you've seen Pulse play, and he has played for a few different teams as well. So, what do you think about these three players?
Well, Pulse is actually a really old player. He has played Dota 1, and I haven't really played much with him, so I don't know how he plays and stuff. But I can tell about Clownk. Clownk is really one of the better mid players out there in Indian scene. His signature heroes must be QOP and Tinker. But the most loving hero which I like is Templar Assassin, which is my most own favorite. So yeah.
Right, so letting that go for now, we have the second team in question over here, White Shadows. Let's have a look at them.
White Shadow are a team that thrives on the natural synergy and cohesion created by all 5 players. They are like one mind, perfectly in tune with each other and ready to strike in unison. When they click and gain some momentum, there are very few teams out there who can stop the onslaught.
Well, that's White Shadows for you guys. 2015, if I talk about that, there were so less LAN tournaments that going to a LAN itself was a big feat, and when you go there, it's a completely different pressure as well. As a talent on the talent side of things as well, when you start off, you're a bit nervous, but when you talk about playing, that's a completely different ballgame. Do you think it sort of gets to you, because for CS at least, when you hand shivers, you can't really aim. How does it affect your Dota?
So hand shivering, I don't think is as much of a problem in Dota.
Really.
It's more about your mind. If you can keep your mind calm, collected, especially if you're the captain of your team, if you can call the shots, I think that is what counts the most.
Yep.
But when you're nervous, when you're on the stage, when there's lights, when there's cameras, when there's fans cheering for you, the pressure does get to you. And I mean, you know this best.
Definitely.
I've seen you panic in the past, and then I've seen him come in today like the cool cucumber that he is dominating games. So.
No, but overall, I think his persona just goes that way, that he's just that calm, unless I'm mistaken, if I'm mistaken. But, talking about Buriza, they've had a pretty strong performance in the ESL India Premiership as well. You want to add on something, something to that as well?
The real nickname to give this team is they're the new kids on the block. And they're the kids that are here to stay. They've been around for a while, and I gotta say, huge props to them for having grit to keep going with minimal roster changes. Because very often you see new teams coming in, they get spanked by the older guards that have been around and working hard for a long time.
The
and then
old
they
guardians,
say, yeah, you know what? Let's just go back to life and not play this because we're nowhere near their level. Buriza is one of those teams that said, you know what, let's just double down. Let's get better. If they beat us once, let's learn from it, get better, and come back stronger.
All right, so we are ready with the draft, so we're going to have a look at the draft as well. And Swifty, do you have any I wouldn't say predictions, but do you have any expectations about the draft going live? We actually have the draft going live as well, so do you have any suggestions or how the draft is going to go about?
Well, draft would normally go about always the meta heroes, which is Leech and Night Stalker. But as we can see, they haven't banned Leech yet. They've opted to ban Earthshaker, Team Buriza, and second ban is what?
It's a Nyx Assassin.
It's a Nyx Assassin.
Yeah.
So yeah, they might pick an Int hero at middle lane, which Nyx is a straight counter to.
Yeah, that makes sense. And there it is. The Lich comes right onto the playing field. Instant pick Lich. And honestly, I don't think we can say this was surprising, right? Because
Not at all. Yeah.
not only is the Lich great in a solo situation, he's great versus the Slaughter. You add the Frost Armor versus the Amp.
And again, we've been talking about Night Stalker and Lich so many times that I think it's gonna get ingrained in all of the viewers because of the fact that even if someone who's watching Dota for the first time today is probably going to start off with those heroes, you think it's going to be a good choice to start off with that hero?
With the Lich, yeah, I think it's fine.
As for this meta, yeah, definitely.
The Oracle pickup does the Oracle Fortunes then purge off Frost Armor?
No, I don't think so.
I'm
not sure about it.
Yeah, I mean Dota and its interactions, yeah, but
it has lots of minor details.
Yeah. Regardless, I know it does purge off the Venomous Gale debuff, so it's definitely going to help in that department. It's also a way of preventing the Slaughter from being countered, right? Because the Fortune's End essentially removes the armor reduction buff that the Slaughter brings in, and that's one of his main value adds in the team fights.
And when you talk about being a drafter, I was talking to you the last night, and you mentioned you're not a drafter, but when there's a team playing, there's a complete team playing. How much pressure do you think he handles? Because there are certain demands that the players want. That I want this hero, and if in the end you can't really get that, do you think that adds up to it? It's okay.
Well, as a drafter, there's a lot of pressure on him because he has to see what his teammates can play and excel in, their most comforting heroes. So yeah, it's actually pretty hard being a drafter.
And on top of it, has there been ever a case where player demands for something, but the drafter just comes in and is like, you play with this hero?
No, not in a professional team because everyone follows the drafter since he's the captain and they respect him. So, yeah.
All right, so well, that's it. I mean, there are going to be certain.
I mean, that's one way to get kicked off of your team. You go and tell your captain, I'm only playing Punch.
That's leaving the jokes aside. The draft is something. You've broken it down to the viewers as well. It's basically a pick and ban thing where you decide what. Again, in the words of Nishant, you decide if you want the queen or something else because in the conventional game of chess you can't really swap it out. But I think you have something to say about the draft right now.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, they're taking their time with this third pickup here.
Yep.
What's a good hero to synergize with that Venomancer? I mean, I don't think the Bloodseeker has been banned out there. Perhaps we see.
Bloodseeker might be a good pick for them for the White Shadows.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the problem with their lineup right now, even though it's too soon to tell, is they're lacking stuns. They don't really have lockdown.
Yeah,
they don't have a way to control mobile heroes. Slaughter is very much.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
we talked about the lockdown and here it is.
Immediately.
Kunga is the best hero for a lockdown because it has his third spell, which is known as X-Mark. He can use it on allies as well, also on enemies.
Yeah.
He has this torrent to control. He has this ulti, which is ghost ship.
Yeah, basically it stuns and it does damage reduction. So it's a defensive / offensive support that's come out from White Shadows. The Batrider pickup though from Buriza.
Batrider is actually really good against Venomancer, as I can recall, because I was once playing Venomancer myself, and there was an offlane Batrider opposite in my lane, and he just completely wrecked me.
Ouch.
So yeah, that is a good pickup.
It's quite something to admit it on national television right now. But talking about the picks and the bans as well, we've had certain. The last match, at least, that was a completely one-sided storm. Even though we thought that the draft was sort of balanced, you think the draft is going to make a huge difference at least in this game?
It always does. I mean, the draft is a major component of Dota itself. It's sort of like saying if you set your chips up right, you have a better chance of winning the game. Over here, they've got the Slark, which is a core that can deal with the Batrider. I believe
definitely it can.
The Dark Pack does dispel the lasso, right?
Yeah, lasso also, and even the stacks batter.
Oh, right. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of like the same logic of a Phantom Lancer going against the core.
They're just going for counter to counter, as I can see.
Yeah. Oh, okay then. No straight up Tinker counters except for the
as I said, Team Buriza, they have Clown K and one of his best heroes is Tinker, as I mentioned. So yeah, they go with their comfort heroes once again.
And that's quite surprising, to be honest. And
so, normally when there's a Batrider on the other side, you want to have a support that can either instantly stun you, so something that has a low cast point, which is what is called in Dota. The Rubik is one of those heroes that fits that description. The other way to stop the Batrider is to stop him while he tries to lasso you. So to put it in layman's terms, and bear with me for this, guys, Batrider is one of those heroes that's known to be the kidnapper in Dota.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he lassos you with a piece of rope and takes you away inside the enemy base or inside the enemy territory. That's the strength of that hero in the mid-game phase. The best way to stop him is when he throws the lasso, you either break the lasso or you stop him where he is. So the logic I'm trying to get at is you need heroes with low cast point or you need heroes with debuffs or dispels. None of those are available on the side of White Shadow right now. Slark is a hero that can debuff himself, but it's not. If he gets caught in the lasso before he pops the Dark Pack, it's going to be troublesome.
And that's quite a way to explain it as well, because a lot of that happens in all the games. When you try to break it down, because a lot of new viewers, when they try to tune in, they can't really understand, especially a game like Dota, because it's so much hard to grasp and so much hard to understand as well. Because it's heroes in the end that they're talking about, and every hero has in the end their own abilities and spells and every different abilities. But talking about the matchup, I think the draft is almost about to get done with. So in the end, looking at the final draft, finalish draft, I'd say, who do you think has the advantage?
Did they just? Yeah, they did.
They just last picked Husker, man.
Oh man. And we thought White Shadows was going to pull out the pocket strategies.
Yep.
Last pick Husker is
They have
just
the best combination in this meta right now, which is Oracle and Husker.
Oh yeah.
Oracle's ultimate is it defends the core itself, which he cannot die in getting into physical attacks and stuff.
So the way Husker works is the lower his HP pool is, the harder and faster he hits. Oracle will keep you alive even if your HP is at like 1. So he makes sure that Huskar is low, but he's still able to dish out a lot of damage. The Queen of Pain pick from White Shadows, not a fan at all.
Nope.
I definitely think that Buriza has the better draft over here. I still don't see a counter to the Tinker in this game. You don't have a way to watch him while he jumps inside the trees with the Blink Dagger. I would say game point to Buriza here.
Yeah, I would also agree. Definitely, it is Buriza with the draft. Yeah.
Well, that's about it from the desk, at least for the draft. We are going to go on a really short commercial break. I'm not going to wait it out and see if Nishant's words are right. Actually, this time around, Swift is supporting you as well. So we are going to go on a really short break. And when we come back, we'll be back with live action.
Didn't even get to cross.
I said I'm moving too far. Getting lost. I said I'm moving too far. Getting lost.
He has the Ravage. The hook shot is there from Butter. They've got them in the cogs. The Ravage dropped on top. But here comes the Monkey King with the Wukong's command, the vacuum ball. Ice Path, Macro Fire. It's a song of ice and fire. And look at them burn. Team Cancer being fought to round. Bit by bit. They've lost the Tidehunter. They've lost the Warlock. And they're losing a whole lot more with this Sonic Wave. Easy trying to man fight. Buriza did use the Sonic Wave. They lost 4 heroes.
There's another cross moving.
He gets the Ravage. He's on to 5. Swen with the Storm Hammer on to 2. He's caught in the cogs, but it doesn't.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back for another one. Vivek and I are going to be sitting on the casting desk here watching Buriza take on White Shadows at Dew Arena version 2. I'm looking forward to this matchup. I love a last pick Huskar, really. What are your thoughts, man?
It was an absolute strategic outdraft coming out here from Team Buriza. First and for all, it was Pulse of Hell doing the draft. So, I mean, at least he had the captain logo next to him in the draft screen. He started out with the Slada where Coily picked up the Oracle. Then Oracle is good versus the Batrider, so he picked up the Batrider as well. And then they last pick Huskar. I mean, I think it's an absolute outdraft.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't see the Huskar coming, man.
Yeah.
When you pick up an Oracle this early on and you have a phase to ban your heroes, you ban it.
Yeah. I mean, it just slipped out of their minds. I mean, Indian teams don't really do cheese strats. We don't do Husker, but it's now becoming a thing that that it's a possibility you have to be prepared for.
But I
And
think White Shadows does have a way. Well, they do have some ways to still deal with the Husker, right? I mean, the pure damage from the Sonic Wave, the control coming out from the Slark, the evasion or rather the Shadow Dance from the Slark that'll allow him to hit the Husker while the Husker isn't hitting him.
start, I am also not entirely convinced by this Venomancer pickup. I understand he's meta, but what's his space in the draft? The only real source of initiation or lockdown, if any, is the Kunkka with the X marks the spot. That's about it in terms of reliable lockdown. I mean, you got a fair bit of AoE with the boat, with the Venomous, with the Poison Nova, with the Venomous Gale, with the Sonic Wave, but all really tricky to land. I mean, sort of unreliable. The Kunkka is good versus the Bat Rider. You can sort of save someone from a lasso. You can X-mark them and immediately pull them back and break the lasso. And
But that works only up until you get the Lincolns.